Chasing their first flag in 30 years, an afternoon to remember for one of them. The 2023 VFL Grand Final. It's Gold Coast and Werribee.
History beckons. Nick Scott with the bounce. A huge job for Kobe Annand up against Ned Moyle on the ruck this afternoon. Moyle gets the knee in straight away. Brew just slightly overrun it. Manuel looking for an early clean touch.
Perfect positioning to come off the wing there, Manuel. Defensive side, held the ball up.
So Gold Coast stand-in captain Charlie Constable involved. Mannagh get negative metres gained for the kick. Grintel, who was the in, clipped a boot at it, and this is where the Suns are clever. They'll hold their shape, and Jake Steen back into the side after a knee ailment saw him out of the prelim. Misses, and Oya with a little stumble early on. That's a huge match-up, and Michael Sotomarco, the Werribee veteran, in game 1-3-4, letting him know all about it in the opening minute of the decider.
Such leadership and experience in this Werribee team. Nick Coughlin, the captain, but former captains Sotomarco, Gribble and Brew all still in the lineup.
Sotomarco there just telling him he could have gone back a little bit harder. First minute of a grand final, not great.
De Clays, Manners handball, misses the target. Under some pressure early, being hunted towards the line. Suns get numbers there. Werribee fight on, Mannagh taken to ground.
A lot of stoppages. The more stoppages, the better for Werribee, you'd think, especially early. They don't want this to be a fast, free-flowing contest.
Moyle, such a dominant ruckman. Anand with a huge job this afternoon. Forkhead immediately tackled, stripped of it. Brew, kick smothered off his boot. Johnston, nowhere to go. De Clays and Gribble wrap him up.
Early matchups, Brownie. Louis Pinnock has gone deep to take Chris Burgess.
It's going to be vitally important. Burgess, leading goal kicker in the competition this year with his fellow teammate in McLaughlin.
Henderson to Gribble, third in the list on Monday night. Shares it wide. It's tapped here by Grintel. Manuel sweeps it wide, and foaming down from defence is Jesse Clark. Werribee try assemble a forward line. The Suns looking to close the holes. Clark, it was perfect into the pocket, and Grintel, who's come into the lineup late with Connor Tharoff, 3 goals in the preliminary final, going out. And this is perhaps the best spot to be taking a kick for goal this afternoon, with the Carlton training centre giving complete shield from the breeze.
Well, they thought their way through that forward 50 entry really, really well. Didn't rush it. The Suns pushed numbers back. To find Grintel in the pocket is a great result for their first inside 50.
8-9 for the season after crossing from GWS's VFL side this season. Grintel to get the Tigers started in the decider. He pushes it across the face. And the Suns trail for the first time since the Swans rushed to behind at the beginning of their match in round 21.
Wow. Grintel kicked 3 goals against Gold Coast in that round 9 thriller. Brought him in as a specialist this afternoon. He gets the opening score. It's a minor one. Steen returns from that knee injury. Missed the preliminary final. Goes long down the city side. Moyle at the front. Clears that contest. Chol at the back. Tries to step through some traffic. Handball partly smothered by Henderson, who turns tackler. Ball spills Grintel again. Run down, affected the kick. Bouncing football should be tidied up here. And will be Johnston. This is where they're so dangerous off half-back. Ewland through the middle. Blakely looking for an option. He's got Chol forward to the football. Marbior runs to 55. Laces it out and hits Burgess.
You just can't defend that. There's nothing that the Werribee defence could do. It has to be further up the field where you get that frontal pressure, and they cut him straight through the corridor. And Chris Burgess has kick bags all year long. Very, very good footballer.
63 goals last year, 58 this year, 58-22. Such a good finisher, and he gets the opening goal of the grand final. Great to have you with us wherever you might be watching around the country on 7plus, on the AFL app, afl.com.au. Spectacular day in Melbourne for the VFL Grand Final of 2023.
Well, it's just a great luxury to be able to have a player like Marbior Chol to play further up the field. He kicked 5 goals last week. He worked up really high, beautiful delivery, to his counterpart in Burgess. And the truck assist replay just shows how hard it is to stop that once they can get the ball, run and carry via handball through the corridor.
Suns the most accurate team this season, going at 64% as some of the Saints hierarchy watch on. Plenty of clubs watching on in earnest with the 20 AFL listed players for the Suns and many Werribee players pushing their case for higher honours. Brew with the clearance. Tricky bounce for Johnston. He waited for it. Lever went after it. Mannagh puts the hand into Johnson, who got a good fistful of the jumper. Work to do here in the defence for the Suns. Jeffrey will clear the danger down the line. It's Oya and Sotomaco. Sotomaco got the customary good bounce. It pinballs around. Oya recovers and extricates it. The one-on-one down the line. It's an awkward landing there from Closey, and his man in the contest is off. It's McLaughlin, who receives via Day the tangle of feet. That's a good effort from Cooper just to see off the danger. So where's the settle now for the Tigers, who had the best part of the first 2 minutes, and it's been the Suns since?
Yeah, they've been winning the clearances 4-0, but once the ball gets out into open space, it's that defensive transition that they need to slow the Gold Coast Suns down.
You mentioned that in the pre-game, Brownie, the keys to success, exiting the area. So far, Gold Coast doing it well. Hollands bounce inside 50, an awkward one. Beats all comers over the head of McLaughlin towards Sexton. Well done, Closey. Kicks it out to space. Awkward bounce, awful one for Lever. So strong in the body from Hewland, did really well. Then steps a man, gets past Sotomaco and delivers to Sexton. Well played, Bodie Hewland. Sexton's off, 55 out, drives towards the top of the square. Day's got the set, it clears. Chol at the back, awkward one. Cooper there stands up for Werribee, still alive here. Anand comes in, the big ruckman with the crushing tackle.
That had to stick as well, and it did from Anand. So you just need to play. Jesse Clark's got the dangerous job on Alex Sexton here. He's particularly dangerous around these stoppages.
Moyle was able to haul it to Forkhead. Didn't muster much on the footy. It's tapped back by Hollands. Sexton is amongst those to see it over the line. What a front half they boast, the Suns, if they can get the supply required with the joint Frosty Miller medalist Chris Burgess already on the board. Brodie McLaughlin, Marbior Troll, 5 last week in the prelim, and Alex Sexton with 36 in 14 VFL games this year. Moyle down to Clace. A good spiral, gets a monstrous piece of it. You're almost happy for this to get out here, and Payas sees it to the line.
That's a pretty good result. Yeah, I mean, you can go short to a 50-50 and try and find one, or just do exactly what DeClace just did.
Let's hit boundary side, Andrew McCormack.
Well, Werribee coach Michael Barlow woke up to a text message from a certain Ross Lyon last Sunday when they booked their spot into a grand final. It said, well done, the backslappers will come, but brush them aside and focus on the big prize. So a bit of a reality check from the Fremantle coach of the past, who, of course, coached Barlow with the Dogs.
Thanks, Macca. The theme all year has just been stay in the moment for Werribee. Keep the external noise about the 30-year anniversary out. Just focus on the job at hand. They've done it well. They're 18-2, as are Gold Coast. Mark taken here by Jesse Clark. Short to DeClace. He and Closey just so dominant last week in the preliminary final. Great fist from the back from Graham. And now Oya, who's got speed. Away goes Awego. He's got Burgess tracking back towards the top of the square. Bounces it there now. Couple to beat. Lovely turn. Burgess could finish himself. Does the unselfish thing and finds Chol.
Well, short to a 50-50 on the wing from DeClace. The ball turns over. You are never, ever going to be able to catch Oya, who's lightning fast, and that's just good, unselfish football from Burgess.
Marbior Chol, 5 goals, 4 in the preliminary final last week. A couple of hangers. He was spectacular.
Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant.
36-24 for the year. This for a great start for the Suns. Gold Coast with the opening 2 goals of the grand final.
Not much the Werribee defence could do then. So much space inside the Suns. Forward 50 from the turnover. That's the kick on the truck assist replay. Graham right on the back there of his direct opponent, turns the ball over on the wing, not allowing Werribee to maintain possession via foot and chip the ball further up the ground. You can see what happens if you can turn the ball over in a dangerous spot. All that space in the Gold Coast forward 50.
Marbia Chol playing in his third VFL Grand Final, played in the 2017 and 19 deciders with Richmond. And the Suns get the perfect start in their quest for silverware for the first time. And Moyle again is getting over the top of Anand. Davies missed the target of Hollands. That opened the door for Henderson to shove it to Sotomaco, who kicks deep. Jeffrey left to his own devices here. Read it best off the boot, compared with Lever, who gets a hand on him now and turns it over at a good spot. Rochi from Hayes to Brew, clever, low down. Sean Mannagh gets a good look from range here.
Great defensive work right there from the Werribee forwards. Jeffrey just looked like if that handball had got over the top, they would have got some overlap run. But if you can turn the ball over in your forward half, you give your forwards an opportunity.
100 VFL goals for Sean Mannagh. Today, his 73rd match. He played in that 2017 Grand Final as a teammate of Marbia Chol. An epic match at Marvel Stadium when Port beat Sean Mannagh's Richmond Tigers. Can he get Werribee on the board here in the decider? It's a magnificent launch.
Really important moment there just to settle the nerves for Werribee. You don't want to be chasing tail against this Gold Coast Suns side. You need to stay in touch.
But both teams had kicked the first three unanswered in their respective prelims. We now find ourselves with a bit of an arm wrestle.
Real X factor, Sean Mannagh. Couple of games this year, Brownie. 40 possessions, 4 goals against Southport, 25 possessions, 7 goals against Sandringham. If he gets busy this afternoon, Werribee be tough to beat.
Yeah, brilliant from Noah Lever there. He was the man that created the turnover. Sean Mannagh, big moment just to settle the nerves for Werribee. He made the VFL Team of the Year on the half-forward flank Monday night. Had a great year.
So marching back to 5 points. Important steadying goal for the Tigers. Let's head boundary side. Connor Blakely joins us. Thanks for your time. Connor, what have you made of the opening 12 minutes?
Yeah, it's been super hot at the moment. They obviously came back in and scored that goal there, but it's been tight. We're really happy with our contest so far, but they're bringing the heat as well. It's it's a classic grand final. It's nice and hot.
What have been the main messages from Joel Drummond leading in?
Yeah, main messages were just keep it the same as we have all year. We've had a really good year, really strong. Just keeping our contest nice and strong and then getting them on the outside. So it's just a balance of that inside-outside sort of game.
Do you think leg speed and getting the ball outside is one of your main strengths this afternoon, Connor?
Yeah, it's one of those ones where if we are able to get on the outside, then the likes of Ace and those sorts of boys can get there, and Brody McLaughlin, and then we can kick it to our big boys up forward. But obviously we've got to match them in the contest as well, because that's where all games start, and that's Werribee's definite strength as well.
Connor, thanks for your time. Best of luck this afternoon. Congratulations on a magnificent career.
Thanks, boys. Cheers.
Here comes Garoni for Werribee. Open goal square. Bounces it. Mannagh with the volley. He's got another one.
Looked like he was going to go the mark at one stage, but what a creative player he is. Oh, grand final magic from Mannagh.
Brilliant.
Well, a lot of players would just take this on the chest, but Sean Mannagh isn't a lot of players on the truck assist replay.
Yeah, it was creative. I thought he was going to mark it, then I thought he was going to shepherd it through. Smart from Garoni outside of the boot on the truck assist replay, and Mannagh has lit this grand final up with 2 goals in a minute to bring Werribee back into the contest and in front.
I think it was a banana volley, was it? Off the right boot, the outside of the boot.
So he's got some tricks. He's got AFL potential written all over him. So does the man that kicked it to him, Hudson Garoni. Kicked 4 goals in the preliminary final last week, getting bigger, stronger, more aerobic every single time we see him play.
So Josh Porter and Chris Burgess both take their turn here as the relief rucks after it's been Moore v Anand in the opening stages. Davies Blakely back onto the ground. Sharp was tackled immediately, and Werribee's game inside is just starting to click into gear. Henderson wide for Manuel, needs the bounce now, gets it. Hot stepping and eventually leaving Lombard in his wake, and it was neatly dabbed into the hands of Gray.
Yeah, he thought his way through that really well.
Got Gribble loose at centre-half forward. Ulan closes that down, so it's a chip from Gray, planting the feet. Fist from Burgess. Rochi pummeled by Davies. He'll go back after it. Rochi, sensational tackling work. Werribee dialing up the pressure here.
Rochi was the man that came off the hard-fought flank and created a tackle in the middle of the ground only moments earlier. So great second effort from him back at the contest.
Gold Coast, the first 2 goals. Werribee responded with the next 2. Henderson will get it inside 50 again for the Tigers. Big pack of players under this. It's fisted back outside 50. Here's Lombard, the 16-year-old. Couple to beat. Numbers will win. Well done, Gray. Draws some traffic. Feeds a handball. Grintel. Pinnock bounces it towards the top of the square. Important hand in there from Johnston. Controlled the football. Got it back outside 50. Hansen comes in, lays the tackle on Oya. Ball up.
Just started to squeeze this game for the Tigers.
Yeah, this is exactly how both these sides like to play. You've got the run and carry and the free-flowing ball movement to see the first 2 goals for the Suns. And Werribee have just found a way through contest and effort to kick the last couple. And it's going to be like this, that arm wrestle, all afternoon.
That first little bit of fatigue kicking in that's maybe slowed the game into more of a contest.
Yeah, which will play into the hands of Werribee at the moment.
Really hot day here in Melbourne. By Melbourne standards, certainly the hottest day post-winter. Bouncing football at 50. Well done, Campbell. Mate, did some wonderful things, and here goes Oya again. The speedster is away and going. He'll run to 55. Kick it towards Chol. Not on the same page. Bouncing football. Cooper. Not the best of kicks. Some work here for DeClace. He'll get run down from the back. And gone.
Wow. There you go. It just closed the exits down beautifully then. And Oya and Marbiak Chol weren't on the same page. He pushed off his direct opponent to come back at the kicker, and the kick had already gone to the top of the goal square. But if you're prepared to work hard and close down the exits like Forkhead didn't give DeClace any time and space.
Oscar Forkhead, 20-year-old, second year in the Gold Coast system, originally from Wentworth, Geelong Grammar, Bendigo under-18s. He's kicked 14-9 for the season. Tight angle. Drops just on the line and onto the chest of Porter for no score.
Porter's sizable boot. Might try and clear it. He's got Annan deep. That'll be a contest with Moyle. Annan gets to there now, as does Manuel, and it was a good effort from Elijah Hollands to get a hand in. So Sean Mannagh with 7 leads the grand final at the moment. 2 goals to go with it as well. Harry Grintel with 5. He was the late in for Connor Tharr. The Gold Coast Suns have certainly shared it around so far. They've got 5 players with 3 touches apiece. Moyle thumps the kick in the Chol vicinity. It dropped. Cooper careful not to infringe. Pinnock away from McLaughlin, shovels the handball. Closey, the Fothergill round Mitchell medalist, just kicks to grass. Johnston's the first there. Rochi in hot pursuit, needs to corral and close him down. Forces Johnston into the kick. It's wide and out. And Werribee at the moment are just exerting enough pressure. You can see the black and yellow throng there. Yeah, Werribee with the numbers in the legend stand.
It was good work right there from Rochi. He's not going to get a possession for it, but he closed down the space. He didn't get stepped back on the inside, and he forced that kick out of bounds on the full.
No, he was out before he kicked it, so it's going to be a throw in.
Okay, well, there you go. So it comes back to the wing.
Go into the crowd.
Probably a good result for the Gold Coast Suns.
So Rochi and Johnston came together afterwards. Bit of byplay. Moyle. And as far as DeClace. Swooping in Rochi again, having a real impact in this grand final early.
Yeah, he's been lively,
throwing himself around.
Look at the peroxided hair, bit of Jack Ginnivan from last year about him.
Moyle. Lovely tap down to Forkhead. He's a quality tap ruckman is Ned Moyle. It's going to be a free kick. Taken high. Advantage will be paid. Away come Gold Coast again inside 50. Coughlin against Day. Swooping his Lake. Can give the handball. Day open goal. Great pressure, Manuel.
I came from his wing, which is exactly what you want your wingers to do, to run defensively and chop out for the defenders. And a golden opportunity goes begging there. Sam Day thought he was going to waltz in and kick an open goal. And just that little bit of pressure from Manuel force the error. What a game we've got this first quarter.
Everything you could expect from two teams. They only lost twice in the home and away season. We're just separated by percentage. Coghlan gave Bruce some work to do, and Maluel, footy gods looking after him after that chase down effort on day. So tempo here from the Tigers. Nick Scott, the umpire, made to work by the Pinnock mark. He heads for the pair of Coghlan and Cooper, who was the one to mark. So how do Werribee navigate their way through the Suns' press here? It might be via Closey, who needs the bounce. It was a tricky one with the Sun there. Forkhead came in to close him down. Closey gathered. Oya, Gribble, chased down by Lake, but the kick was good enough to find its intended target of DeClace off a hot game in the prelim. Rochi's trapped behind here, but put the body on Jeffrey. Chips forward. Oh, that's clever. Payer misses. Lever, tangle of feet. Third goal beckoning here for the Tigers. Johnston got a great piece of it, but it's only as far as Pinnock hunting up from defence. His kick's a scriber back in board. Rochi wants one in the back. Blakey fumbly. Tigers everywhere. Maluel again involved. His kick smothered. Johnston under pressure. It's a high launch and out. Who's there? It's Day presenting.
Oh, well done.
And a breather now for the Suns.
Jack Steen down behind the play. He was the late out of the preliminary final with the knee problem. You can see him there, centre screen, just in the shadow.
He can't get back up, can he? So
he's in a lot of trouble.
that could be terrible news for the Gold Coast Suns, but what a great work rate from Sam Day. He was the only Sun that could have impacted that contest. He worked up to take the mark.
They're going to be a man down at the moment with Steen gone behind play. Lombard to Chol.
And that's holding the ball, should be anyway.
He's worked to the line. It's going to be a throw in. And you mentioned the strapping on that knee nudge. He got up for the grand final, but it's actually the other leg by the looks. Here's another look. Oh, yeah,
you can just see that
backwards.
That left hyperextension when he plants his foot there. So I've seen players come back from that in the same game, but you're just never sure exactly how bad it is.
Get an update from Andrew McCormack shortly. Llewell stripped of it. Constable really clever. Burgess bounces it inside 50. Here's McLaughlin, the co-Frosty middle medalist. Swings onto his right boot. Bounces it goalward. What a brilliant goal from Brodie McLaughlin.
First touch of the afternoon for Brodie McLaughlin was worth the wait.
Ooh, what a finish.
Well, 24 goals from 12 games last year in the VFL for Frankston. He got his opportunity at the Gold Coast Suns in the pre-season. He's had to overcome plenty to just get up there and get on an AFL list. He's kicked 53 this year. He's been absolutely outstanding. Back in the side this week after missing the prelim. You can't give him time and space. He's athletic. He's good when the ball's in the air. He's even better when it's on the ground on the truck assist replay.
Third lead change of the grand final. Brodie McLaughlin missed the prelim through a calf, was running around in the ammos here a couple of years ago for the likes of Bulleen, Templestowe and De La Salle. Finds himself on the VFL grand final stage and is up to the task. Jack Howard, one of the three officiating umpires this afternoon with a bounce. A rare win. Was a fumble from Gray. Door ajar. Davies, Lombard, lowered the eyes, pierced it towards McLaughlin. It had too much on it. There's a whistle. The advantage is the way of the Tigers.
They got lucky then.
Closey patrolling the wing and DeClace starting to get involved in the shadows of quarter time.
This goes to show just one tiny fumble from Keegan Gray in the middle of the ground just opened the door for a Suns forward 50 entry.
And again, the Tigers will try and work through their gears. Coghlan received from Closey to Maluel, who's been a key to their ball movement thus far. His fifth to Sotomarco. He's going to be kept busy with the fleet of foot Suns forwards. Perfect kick for Garoni. Hansen spreading for the Tigers' leading goal kicker this season. He needs targets, the best of them short. And Werribee's veteran in Hansen. He's got nearly every player on the ground in front of him.
They can be patient if they want to. This is good football from Werribee. You don't have to just blast it in there.
Keegan Gray.
Just wait.
Now Sotomarco. And now the full switch to Closey. Thought about playing on. In fact, he did. He's called to go. So now they do need the entry kick. It's going to go to a big pack of players. Off hands, Garoni the crumb. Feeds it to ground. Mannagh, Sotomarco. High kick towards the square. Some carry on this. Too much carry on this. Out of bounds on the full. Let's head boundary side. Andrew McCormack. Any update on Jake Steen?
Went straight down to the rooms. Couldn't put any weight on that left knee. Still waiting on a diagnose. Obviously, doesn't look great at this stage. We'll find out a quarter time, but straight down to the rooms.
Really nasty one there. It is there. That left leg.
Chol involved in the contest. They got busy there on Oya. Closey.
I think the message from
with Michael attached to his back.
Michael Barlow, big, great patience to come around the arc there. But if you are going to enter the forward 50, don't do it with a high ball 35 metres out, because that is not where you want the Gold Coast Suns to be able to counter-attack from. Go deeper.
Question of how long you can be patient for as well to make that defence work and potentially
it all worked
fall
perfectly
asleep.
until Closey played on.
Yeah, accidentally sort of stepped off the line, had to go.
Alex Davies was on the screen. He's had 4 touches so far, which is an equal team high as Gribble just pierced it neatly. Mannagh was getting creative. Orland was scooped there by Brew. Mannagh set upon right in front of the Suns fans. Throng that's assembled. They wanted the free. Their calls would go unanswered. Cheeky smile from Sean Mannagh, who's kicked 2 so far for the Tigers. We've had 3 lead changes. Everything we expected we'd get out of the grand final matchup, we have through 26 minutes.
2-point game last year when these sides met. 2-point game this year when they met. Here's Oya. Handball smothered. Here's a chance. Grintel already kicked 1. Delivers towards the square. Garoni at the back. Read it perfectly. Plays on and goals. Three goals apiece in the grand final.
He's going to be a constant headache all afternoon for the Gold Coast Suns defenders. That kick just travelled a little bit further than anticipated. Garoni out the back. There were pleas from Caleb Graham, who's had a great year for a push in the back. Not to be. Scores level.
11 inside 50s to 9. Tigers with 10 of the last 15 after it was the Suns game early. Chris Burgess and Marbiel Troll were the first 2. Tigers with 2 of the last 3. Moyle thunders into Kobe Anand and then presses his 100+ kilos over the top. Hansen goes at it with Blakely.
Every time.
You can still see it going on between.
Yeah. Ned Moyle plays with real physicality. He sees every single time he gets a chance to jump into his direct opponent, he does.
Look at him try and work this free. He was held by Hansen. Gray comes free. It's volleyballed out. Lever had just held his space cleverly enough. Poked it towards Payer. He's tackled. Lever involved again. He's got 4 Suns to beat here. Hollands wide for Lake. Gray couldn't get a hand on him. Lake comes back centrally and finds Constable.
Now you need to just slow the Suns down. They'll be looking to keep coming back through the corridor. They've worked pretty hard defensively here, Werribee.
Constable goes long down the city wing. Days the target. Close to the line, out on the full. In front of the Werribee faithful, hunting their first flag in 30 years and the second in the history of their club.
It's been this Werribee side has helped the Gold Coast Suns AFL side. They've had Josh Corbett and Sam Collins, both drafted from Werribee in the last few years.
The Wells kick front and centre. Rochi gets it inside 50 for Lever versus Jeffrey. Gribble turns tackler. We hit the 29-minute mark of the opening term, and to no one's surprise, nothing between these two teams. 18-2 all season, separated on percentage alone. Moyle against Payer. Constable. Stand-in skipper today in the absence of Jimmy Cheetahs, who was suspended in the preliminary final.
I thought it was a bit stiff, Cheetahs. It looked far worse than what it actually was on Kazitsky last week, swinging arm in a spoiling action, and unfortunately, the skipper gets rubbed out for a grand final.
Suns tried their best with a hearing and an appeal as Mannagh's kick ricochets. Constable, Blakey, now to Lake, who looks up and sees a lead. It's via Burgess, 2-on-2 deep. Chol getting goal side here of
Great
Cooper.
kick.
The ball instead goes to the closer man in Sam Day, who's got Hollands inboard but likes his chances to get the distance.
Foundation son, Sam Day, 150 games for this footy club. He's just fallen out of the side due to the plethora of good key forwards, but his work rate this afternoon has been magnificent.
4 in the qualifying final win over Brisbane, a behind last week, but 5 marks where he was playing high up the ground. Already got a behind in the grand final to give the Suns back the advantage heading to quarter time. And you get a real good look at that breeze, how the ball held its line, was even a little bit left, and then as it lost velocity, was just pushing right with the breeze. Suns grab back a slight advantage.
They look dangerous though, don't they? When they win that ball in the middle of the ground, their forwards, high half forwards, are just off to the races, and it's leaving so much space for the Suns forwards to work in.
Pinnock goes long, big pack of players here. Holland lurking, waiting for it to pop out. It does not.
It's not sustainable for Werribee. As the longer this game goes on and fatigue kicks in, they'll start to get sliced open even more. So they've got to find a way to slow down the Gold Coast Suns.
Holland throws a boot at it. Sharp gets to his feet, but will go no further.
They prepared to play almost the Stephen May, Jake Louver goalkeeper, who just is always the last man out.
Yeah, potentially. It's a funny one. You can throw a half forward up to give yourself an extra number around the stoppage, but that'll free up a defender for the Gold Coast Suns as well, which you don't want. So Mickey Barlow will certainly be thinking about that in the box.
Dribble to Hansen. Closey ran into Eckersley.
This stuff around the actual contest is first class. It's just when they manage to chain it out with handball.
And Moyle continue their battle. Umpire goes down. Hansen couldn't control it. Well done, Constable. Well done, Hollands gets it out to the outside for Sharp. He delivers inside 50. Dangerous spot, top of the square. Some pushing and shoving. And a hold. Free kick, Gold Coast. Advantage won't be paid as Lake runs into an open goal.
It's going to Burgess, and that's the thing. If it's not Day or Chol getting you, it's Chris Burgess. And if they can compete one-on-one against their direct opponents, they're going to win more than they lose. Great kick to a dangerous spot from Sharp. And it's just holding on.
2 to Burgess in the first term.
Louis Pinnock just slightly undersized there as a key defender. You don't want to give this man a running jump at the footy, so what you naturally do is just hold on. The umpire was right there to see it.
So 2 to Burgess, 1 to Chol, 1 to McLaughlin. 3 of their tools plus 2 behinds today. So all that strike power up forward, getting looks in the first quarter.
It's exactly what we said. You know, they've just got so many options up forward on the truck assist replay. You can just see it's nothing massive, but slight hold there on Pinnock, and it's Alex Sexton hasn't chimed in just yet, but it's very hard to keep so many good players down.
So 4-2 from 11 entries. The Tigers 3-1 from their 13 thus far, and that was just the 3rd free kick of the grand final.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's been free-flowing, hasn't it?
Sure has.
Moyle the advantage on Anand. The high shot spotted and will go the way of the Tigers' first-year ruckman. Shares with Brew. A final thrust perhaps here for the Tigers. Graham and Ewland are there, as was Eckersley. Gribble, tangle of feet, didn't favour Rochi, did Hollands. Who had to look out the side and saw Chol.
Still down.
Cooper put him to ground. Sexton after Gribble now. It comes free. Chol did well to just paddle it there via Clark, who then landed into his back.
Oh, it's a free kick for a push in the back. And they're going on with it, these two.
Cooper and Chol. Ball comes back to Marby or Chol. Wastes no time. Inside 50. Oh! Fire and just beats Sam Day. Quarter time. Bit of push and shove continues. Heck of a game. It's what we expected. Mix to the pass. Gold Coast with a 7-point lead as we start the second term. And that'll be brought back. against Moyle. What have you made of the ruck contest so far, Brownie?
Yeah, it's been outstanding. Two big men going at it. Nothing really splits them so far.
Two big, aggressive ruckmen. Davies taken down by Dom Brew.
So down back, Mickey Barlow's changed some matchups. Llewell has gone on to Burgess after his 2-goal first term. Louis Pinnock has gone on to McLaughlin. So that's going to be critical that they get those matchups right.
Free kick to the Suns. It's going to be Hollands. Off to Hewland. First inside 50 of the second term. Chance over the back here for Day. Brings it down to the front for Davies. And there's Brew again. Wraps him in the tackle. Cooper flips a handball. Jesse Clark bounces it outside the zone. Mannagh to run onto it. Hewland right on his hammer. Boundary line wins. So
Burgess obviously probably got the bigger frame against Llewell. He'd want to isolate him in a one-on-one marking contest, not turn it into an aerobic battle.
Yeah, about 15 kilos. Chris Burgess has the advantage on Llewell.
So you'd just be saying to your midfielders, I'll stand there, plant, kick it on my head and try and engage Llewell as much as you possibly can rather than trying to get him on the lead.
Hollands paddled, looking for Forkhead. Grintel on him. So 2 to Burgess in the opening quarter. 2 goals in quick succession for Sean Mannagh. The second of them, a highlight, the volley out of midair. Clearing ball here from Gribble, but Jai Farrell will be amongst those key interceptors today. Had to kick it through the fingers of Porter. Losing his footing at a crucial stage was Gray, and that meant Johnston got it uncontested. Heads wide. Pinnock closed down the space on Sharp. It was a neat ball down the line initially from Jeffrey, but he missed his target. And it's a luxury that they've got Joel Jeffrey in this side this afternoon. Injuries, of course, really upset his year for the second straight time. It was a meniscus in 2022, a foot stress reaction in June. Many played just 7 AFL games. Today's 8th VFL match of 2023.
Damien Hardwick and Sean Grigg watching on as Damien comes to terms with what he's got. At the Suns, kick to centre half forward. Mark taken by McLaughlin. 55 from home. Looks for a target. Goes to Day, who stands tall. Juggles, doesn't bring it down. Swooping on it is Hollands.
A couple of half moments for Sam Day. He's already kicked 2 behinds. There was that mark that he could have potentially taken if the siren hadn't have gone right on quarter time, and then they usually stick. So tough matchup. Sam Day.
Closey to the City side. Searching kick. Doesn't get as far as Porter at the back. Hollands at the front. Off to Forkhead. Kick towards 50. Hansen couldn't control it under pressure. Day with the big frame. Spins into trouble. Going nowhere.
So Werribee just want stoppage after stoppage.
And the scrap continues.
It nearly kicked off at quarter time. Dom Brew's in there.
Who would have thought?
Loves it. That's his natural habitat at the bottom of the pack.
Boyle, lovely tap to Forkhead, and De Clace takes him to the line.
Well-deserved VFL Team of the Year this year for Dom Brew. Been working tirelessly for a long time.
Moylan and Ann continue their battle. More beautiful tap. Down to Hollands. Runs to 40 metres out. Misses left.
He'll be disappointed with that. Had a really good look. It was a great tap from Moyle to a dangerous spot, and he ran to 40, just pushed it. It's been all Gold Coast Suns so far in this second term.
One of the knocks on Elijah Holland's game. 16-22 now at VFL level.
Coughlin got it over the outstretched hand of Davies to Kobe Anand's 19th VFL game this afternoon. And a huge task in the ruck for the Tigers. The Norm Goss medalist in 93 was a ruckman in David Alday. Closey, the Fothergill round Mitchell medalist, heads towards Porter. He's got plenty of company, but they're away here, the Tigers. It's paddled to the advantage of Gribble. He can perhaps work the 1-2 here with Grintel. Drew Johnston over to Grintel, devoid of space, goes to grass. It's a virtual cross here. Backhander from Graham. Pressure on Sharp. Handballed it into the goal umpire in the end. The Tigers march at the length and breadth of the ground. Now the task to lock it in.
8-point game.
First inside 50 for the quarter.
Comes 4.5 minutes in. Farah
Can't let that out the back. They got lucky there with the bounce.
Closey's handball. Pinnock wasn't expecting it to come, but had some time to gather. Hansen with Blakely in pursuit. Off to Mannagh. Well done, Blakely. Kept going. Kick fortuitously, found Gribble. Off a step from 40 metres out. Grintel tries to find it in the air, and good result for Werribee. Pitches just inside the line.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen 2 long kicks down the line that they've allowed over the back. One, the Gold Coast Suns on that far side, which opened the door for the forward 50 entry. And then that occasion, Werribee got really lucky. Just a bounce of the ball. Otherwise, the Suns would have gone coast to coast.
And they manufacture something here, the Tigers. Porter in the ruck against Moyle. One on Blakely. Jeffrey hits a spiral. Awkward one for Oya. Good shepherding from Anand. Closey ran in a forkhead. Anand comes again. DeClace. Closey. Clark goes looking for Gribble. Blakely got in the way to try and break it up. DeClace works with Gribble. Looks for an option inside 50. Big pack over the back. Hayes not paid. Wrapped up.
Ball starting to get really busy to start this second term. That was his 4th disposal. He was relatively well held in that first term.
Good call. All Farah.
Up to 9 for the afternoon, Tom Gribble. Werribee have looked their most menacing when they can kick short inside 50. Hansen hunts after it, as has been custom in his career. Comes back for Graham, who's kicked wide to grass. What's the call here? Throw in, so beneficial for the Suns, who hold sway by 7 points. Sotomarco, Maluel, Payer amongst those hoping to get back on the ground. Keegan Gray sacrificing himself from the stoppage to allow that change. Sharp, loose here defensive side for the Suns. Moyle got it towards Davies. Sitting on it was Brew. Eventually gets it out. Maluel, fresh, got the kick forward, and Newland was a casual intercept in the end.
He's an expert of picking off high balls. We saw him do it multiple occasions last week in the preliminary final versus Box Hill.
Wanted to switch, and then he kicks a high ball towards the wing. Gets over the head of Moyle and Anand to the back. Chol, vigorous tackle. Hansen. Nice gather Closey on the bounce, but that is shut down. Throw in right in front of the interchange benches.
So the difference, if we take a wide shot here, there's 4 or 5 Werribee forwards in their forward 50, whereas the Gold Coast Suns are leaving their forward 50 completely open, the old Pagans paddock method, and they'll use quick ball movement, kick to space and speed.
Moyle. Gribble. Got boot to ball despite the pressure from Constable, and finds Mannagh. He'll square it to the corridor. The run from behind came from Sotomarco. He'll push it even further to the city side. DeClace. They've opened up this side of the 50. Hayes is inside. DeClace sees him now at the last moment. Nice adjustment from Kai DeClace.
It's just absolutely perfect ball movement.
You could see he was heading out to the right to wind up, Brennan, and just at the last moment, out of the corner of his eye, spotted him, pulled the kick.
Hard to defend because you're trying to predict what the ball carrier is going to do. You naturally start backpedaling when you think he's going to go to the top of the goal square, and those little pockets of space open up, and Nick Hayes ran into it perfectly.
21-12 for the season. Misses right.
He's got to reward those marks inside 50 with goals. They're going to be hard to come by. It was good method, though.
Nick Hayes played in a Sandful Premiership in 2020 with the suspended son and Jimmy Cheetahs with Woodville West Torrens. And a great addition at Chirnside Park. Brock dances away from Payer, heads for Moyle. Anand, Gribble getting busy. Maluel can share to the running Pinnock, looking to use his foot skills, but there's 3 Suns back. Rochi inserts himself and was pushed over the line by Jeffrey. Not enough to bring out an infringement. And the Morris medalist, Lucas Rochi, has been a good presence with his pressure in the Tigers lineup, playing the last 9 matches of the season. Needs to get busy here around the contest. Payer doing the ruck work against Moyle, flying through. Look at Henderson, off to Sotomarco. The veteran skies it. It needs to work left. Garoni, Graham can leave it out. The Tigers again with an opportunity inside forward 50 that goes begging inside the first 10 minutes of the second.
Inside 50 is now 20-14 in favour of Werribee and 6-2 in the term, as you can see.
There's good intent, though, from Jack Henderson. He was on the fly. He was the one that wanted the football the most, and he ended up getting it.
Graham thumps it long off the hands of Day. Hayes, De Clace, Henderson. Goes to Gribble, he's got to stand and wait. McLaughlin committed, and it worked out okay for Tom Gribble. He can find Pinnock as they try to manipulate this Gold Coast defence. Shift the zone around a little, but it's pretty well set. Look at the traffic in front of him. Clark thought about the short to Brew. Now the leading lane's open for Rochi. Didn't complete the mark. Den Helbin not in possession. Picks up the football. Exploding clear as Lever. Forced to retreat. Manuel ducks the head straight into Sharp and should be gone. Spills free. Picked up by Pinnock. Kicks towards the top of the square. De Clace. Mannagh for his third. Got it! Another brilliant goal from Sean Mannagh. Well, stages like this, Brownie, can be career-defining. Sean Mannagh with 3 goals, 2 of them brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 goals and 8 disposals to start this grand final. Got a little bit lucky. The umpire, he put the whistle to his mouth, about to blow, holding the ball on Manuel, who sneakily just got it onto his boot and got it out. Split second in it, and it's created a goal for Werribee.
Suns with the first 2, Tigers with 4-2 since, and in that stretch they've had 20 inside 50s to 10. Manuel sweeps from the back, receives from Hansen, provides to Lever. Hansen continues to run, pushes it into the pocket. Paya.
Oh, brilliant ball movement, and that is what Lowell can do. And we spoke about he might be a bit vulnerable in the air on deep inside 50s against the much bigger Burgess, but if you allow him just clean air in front of him to run off the back of the square from a stoppage, brilliant decision-making, great forward 50 entry.
Sam Paya played in a grand final last year for Aberfeldy in the Essendon District League. 27-11 for the season. Goals in every game bar the preliminary final when he kicked 2 behinds. To give the Tigers the lead, he's going to square it up, he's going to tumble it. Mannagh dropped it. Henderson, Garoni, kick smothered by Lake. Comes free for Hayes, he got the left hand to it. He turns, he snaps. Porter trying to get back. Oh, the ball out of bounds.
There was a smart kick in the end from Paya, and he found his intended target, which is Mannagh, who's been everywhere. Dropped the chest mark. That was almost the easiest part of what he's done today. He's kicked 3 miraculous goals.
All Werribee in the first 13 minutes. 8 inside 50s to 2. Scores level. Can the Tigers get back in front? Here's Mannagh. Misses near side.
He's playing the game of his life, and that is saying something. 40 touches and
4 goals.
4 goals.
Southport 25 and 7 against Sandringham.
But
we said at the start of the day he's an X-factor type, and if he gets hot, you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
It's absolutely, that's home and away games. This is a grand final, the biggest stage.
Ewland at half-back. A little bit of composure required here for the Suns.
Just struggled to get the ball out of their defensive 50.
More with the long down the line. The kick heads there. Porter's presenting. Manuel starting to muster an effort in this second quarter. Had targets short. In fact, it's Lowell taking the grab. My apologies. So Lowell chips into the pocket. It gets a bit big on Keegan Gray. And did Ewland touch it?
It was out on the full. They'd be disappointed. There were options early that opened up into the corridor that just didn't pull the trigger on.
So that's what Ewland had down the line. Instead, he chipped short for Graham. He's going to try and switch play and open up the Tigers here, who haven't had to defend much in the quarter. It's Brock away from the closing payer. Chips for Johnston. Perhaps shielded Mannagh with his attempt. It's turned over in a good spot for the Tigers. Rochi to Mannagh, who's been the man so far for the Tigers. He was held as he handballed. Goes back after it and Pyle drives his head through.
He's playing like a man possessed.
This is an incredible game from Sean Mannagh. He has a game-high 14 touches, 3 goals, 1 now, 15 touches, and we're not even halfway through the second quarter of the grand final.
Suns being challenged. Blakely Well done, Hollands. Smothered off his hands. Goes again. Johnston tries to get through Hansen. Can't do so. Free kick going the way of Matt Hansen.
So let's just see how they enter this forward 50. Smart again. That's just perfectly executed. The numbers for the Suns were all drifting back to the top of the square, the dangerous part of the ground, and nice little chip over the top.
So Nick Hayes missed one a little earlier in the term. This to continue Werribee's momentum.
They need some reward for their dominance in their second term.
10 inside 50s to 2 for the quarter. Hayes gets up ahead of steam, launches it from 50. Was always slightly right. So from Gold Coast perspective, how do they stabilise the situation from here?
I didn't mind the switch of play. The first probably 10 minutes of this quarter, they were just going long down the line. It was quite predictable.
There's Jake Steen on screen. Suns a man down. The other knee. He missed, of course, the prelim. Injures the other knee here early. Eckersley to Hollands. Wrestling was Day and did enough to muscle the Tigers skipper Coghlan out of it.
Yeah, it's a really good one-on-one win again from Sam Day, because Coughlin's a hard man to move.
It was Day's role doing just that in the prelim that got them here, hunting up the ground, giving guys like this, McLaughlin, an opportunity. Half volley was clean from Lake. Hollands was beaten out of it by Llewell, who's got a runner riding shotgun. It's Hansen. He's got plenty of space in front of him. Spaces the kick for Garoni. Hands it off. The flying Henderson to a vacant goal. The Tigers are on fire! Jack Henderson turns 24 next Sunday, hoping to take a premiership medal to the birthday party. And the run and overlap of Werribee, as well as their capacity to close the game down on the inside and get a hand in at the right time, has been on show here in the second quarter. 2-4 behind, 62 possessions to 30. Can they start cashing in?
Well, the pass replay shows just outstanding bit of play here from Llewell. Little paddle. The corridor opens up. We talk about how good Werribee are in the contest, but it's been their finesse that's been the feature of this quarter. Brilliant kick from Matt Hansen. Lowers the eyes. Finds Garoni. He worked up. The run and handball received. And an outstanding finish there from Henderson.
So Moyle's getting first hands on the football. Hit outs this quarter 10-4, but the stoppage is 7-4 in favour of Werribee. So the Tigers mids are picking him off. Can Gold Coast convert his dominance in the air to some clearances? They really need them right now, but again it's Werribee through Hansen. Will bounce towards half forward. Johnston stayed back, got the bounce, did it nicely. Missed with the kick though. And Hansen cuts it off.
Good composure. He's won 4 best and fairest for Werribee. He's the heart and soul. He's come out for his 8th disposal. He's lifted.
Sotomarco.
Former skipper. So these are the experienced players that we've spoken about, over 100 VFL games.
Now an exciting youngster, Sam Closey, the 20-year-old. Plenty of AFL interest in him. Kicks to half forward. Grintel across the front of the Payer lead. Gribble working on the deck. Tries to get it to Payer. Brock looking for an option, stripped of the football. Payer tries to muscle his way through. Hollands says no chance.
So they're just falling down backwards of centre here, the Gold Coast Suns. We saw how many inside 50s for the quarter Werribee have had. They haven't been able to transition that out with quick ball movement like we saw in the first term.
Moyle gets it to his boot. Closely, look at this, listen to the slap on the effects mics as Lake came in and made contact. It's fierce in there. Forkhead gets away from Sotomarco, does it really well. It'll bounce over the top of Llewell. Awkward one at the back. Well done, Coghlan taken down. Good tackle from Day, umpire says.
You know what Mickey Barlow spoke about at quarter time? No cough-ups, protect the ball. That is exactly what he did then. Coghlan, the skipper, came out. He didn't want to handball that to space, and he's been rewarded with a free kick for in the back.
And almost generated the free kick from Day in doing so.
They're just the little things that coaches speak about that are so important.
Coghlan down the line. Porter, Farah the flyer. Tigers have got layers on the outside if they can win it. Rochi again, hard to miss the peroxide blonde, diving in and fighting for everything like it's the last dollar on the planet, Lucas Rochi.
They're just a little bit hungry at the moment, Werribee. Someone needs to spark this midfield for the Gold Coast Suns right now.
Right now, doing the reverse is Hansen for the Tigers. Was it touched? Hayes commits regardless. Jeffrey around the body. It'll drop wide and out to get the chalk. It does. Fortuitous for the Suns. They need a lift in so many areas here. Behind to 2-4 in the quarter. That man, Nick Hayes, has been part of the Tiger charge. Matt Hansen with 9 possessions for the quarter.
The upside for Gold Coast, the margin only 8 points.
Yep.
They've defended grimly, and maybe a chance now to counter-punch. Away comes Hollands. Read it nicely off the Moyle fist. Can they get a market up forward? They can. It's McLaughlin. He can get it inside to Burgess. Can they get one across the run of play? Chol in the goal square. Handball goes behind him. Werribee arrived now. It's still there.
That was unbelievable defensive transition from Werribee.
Still there for McLaughlin, and eventually they get the goal they needed. Well played, Gold Coast.
Great finish.
There might be more to come out of this with Marby or Chol. That head clash there. Imagine there might be one, maybe 2 players heading for a head injury assessment.
McLaughlin kicks his second, completely against the run of play. And as we've seen so many times in finals this September at all levels, can feel like one team's getting played off the park, and then you look at the scoreboard and there's nothing in the game, and that's all that matters right now for the Suns. They've hung tough.
It was a really big clearance win from Alex Davies. They got some overlap. Ooh. This is the big hit coming off the wing. Keegan Gray on the pass replay, but they just conjured an opportunity, and McLaughlin kicks his second for the afternoon. He's coming off with the blood rule now. Keegan Gray was a great effort. Unfortunately, didn't save a goal.
So we'll see Keegan Gray get taped up, whether that means he returns to the action for the remaining minutes of this second quarter. So McLaughlin and Burgess, the 2 Frosty Miller medalists, with 2 apiece in the grand final. It's a high one from Brew. Davies shares to Constable from the back. The Suns starting to believe here. Chol protected the space. Burgess to Lake. Gets away from Sotomaco and gives the Suns back the lead.
We don't get to be 18-2 in a season without being resilient, hanging in, absorbing some pressure, and then being able to counter-punch, and the Gold Coast have done it superbly.
Yeah, they certainly have. Really important win from that centre clearance on the pass replay. Burgess getting involved in both those goal assists, and Lake, he's a tireless worker up forward. The 19-year-old gets his opportunity. He's a Gold Coast Suns Academy prospect.
Speedy youngster puts the Suns back in front, and suddenly pressure back on Werribee now to respond.
That's how quickly things can turn in the game of footy.
Suns play down behind the play. It's been a physical affair, as you'd expect. It's Charlie Constable, slow to get up.
The best way Werribee can stop the Gold Coast Suns forward line is by starving them of opportunity.
Holland smothered off the boot of Eckersley. Kick up and down on the spot, almost hit Constable. It's paddled forward for de Claes. He gets to 48 metres, bends it across his body.
He'd like his time again. Kai de Claes, he had some options over the top.
So Charlie Constable receiving some medical treatment in the middle of the ground. Waves the doctor away. He's good to continue. Eckersley to the wing. Moyle sets himself. Better read by Anand at the back, but then couldn't find it on the ground. Coughlin, clever to Pinnock, but he overruns it. Lombard, Blakely, Moyle, puts it on the boot towards half forward. Gribble gets across the Chol lead. He's then wrapped up by Marbior. Stood up in the tackle, ball up 55 from goal, and this pulsating grand final continues. Werribee with all the play early. Gold Coast defending grimly and then counter-punching to hit the front.
Moyle. Oya will run after his own kick. Burgess!
Too big, too strong. He just caught Coughlin flat-footed there. Worked hard to get front position, and once he does that, he's a hard man to stop and get the ball to ground. Again, it was great ruck craft from Moyle too, just to find one of his midfielders.
Hasn't had many looks in the quarter, as mentioned. A hand pass. The sum total, 2 goals in the first. Mannagh matches Burgess with 3 on the afternoon. The Sun suddenly with a buffer. Three straight for the Suns, who flipped an 8-point deficit at the 17-minute mark into a 10-point lead. 25 into the second. Chris Burgess with 3, Brodie McLaughlin with 2. They've kicked 3 in the space of 5 minutes.
In the last 7 minutes since they trailed by 8 points, 20 possessions to 3 in favour of Gold Coast. They have owned the football.
Yeah, they certainly have, and getting the ball on the outside, 3 inside 50s, all go really deep, and they kick 3 goals, and that's how they've stormed back into this contest.
It's been a superb fight back. Davies taken down by Brute. So now what have Werribee got to stabilise things late in the second term? Moyle out of the ruck, has an influence again, spears it forward, and straight onto the chest of Sam Day.
It's creating some real headaches up the ground and inside the forward 50 for Werribee. They can't quite get that match-up right, and he's certainly got the leg in him, Sam Day, to get the journey here. 31-year-old.
Sam Day, 2 behinds in the opening term. This to open up a handy 16-point lead. He gives it a ride and gets another one. Margin out to 16 points.
All season they've been an unbelievably good counter-attack side. Moyle doing a great job in the ruck, just hacking it forward. Sam Day plays in front on the pass replay and goes back and slots it. But speak about counter-attack, Jay. 6 inside 50s for the quarter for 4 goals won. That's the big concern.
Those 4 goals coming in a 6-minute burst. The type of burst that can bust open a grand final. Will have a record bounce. Umpire Nicholas Jankowski's wanting to have a second turn at it. So the margin to a game-high 16. Anand got it to Hansen. He was stopped in his tracks by Davies and Hollands. Matt Hansen's appeals for a high one will go unheard. Mannagh 15 and 3 goals, Hansen 14. Elijah Hollands is the only Sun in double figures with 13 so far. Tigers muster it forward, clatter of bodies. Farrell won the day against Lever, and Lever looks a bit wounded here as well. Sexton coming up to get involved in the Suns' ball movement. And now they can play tempo, as we saw Werribee do through the middle part of this quarter when they were in command. Constable, Hayes trying to get back for the Tigers. Coughlin, a timely intercept.
16-point margin, 28.5 goal in second term. Both teams had their periods of control in this quarter, but the difference is Gold Coast potency. They've slammed it on the board with 4 goals in 6 minutes after Werribee controlled the first half of the term, but didn't get the response on the scoreboard. Hayes to Hansen, now Brew, and they look to move it forward methodically. Second quarter blitz from the Suns has been outstanding.
It's good mature football, this. You don't always need to play fast.
Hansen to Lowell, and now they switch it wide to the City wing. Jesse Clark spears it. Beautiful kick to DeClace. He's got it 55 from goal.
Great foot skills on display there from Werribee.
And then he finds Clark over the top, who kept on running. So if you look deep, you'll see there are so many Gold Coast players covering all the gaps.
Just about on the ground inside the Werribee forward 50.
So he's just going to have to try to set it up. McLaughlin will come at it. Garoni. Still there for Werribee on the deck. Payer wrapped up by Hollands.
Peroni would have taken that second bite of the cherry, but it was knocked out of his hands by a fellow teammate. Look at this. A little bit of a piece of the ball there from McLaughlin.
Moyle, catch and release, kick wide for Day. Coughlin needs to see this out, and he will. The Tigers skip up in his 99th VFL match, a handful with Footscray, of course. Some footy with Sandringham in his time on the St Kilda list. Hoping to join Donald McDonald, who was a captain coach, just hoping to look after the captain part of it as the Tigers try and win their second flag and break a 30-year drought. Moore's handball won't be punished. Tigers crowd here in number, but plenty of sons that have made the trek south, or their support network on the ground, given a strong Victorian representation within their team. Moyle's amongst those. It was thrown out by Hollands. Burgess dropped busy on him. There's no one inside forward 50 here. If the Suns can get it, they are off. Coughlin sees it off at the source. Closey to the Clace.
He marks in front of Sexton.
Disposal number 11 from Kai de Clace.
31 minutes gone.
Just patrols that wing beautifully for Werribee.
Brings it inside to Closey. And now the switch as they go looking for a late one. Hayes sets Clark off and running on the bounce to half forward. Gray back into the action. Clark sells the dummy beautifully on Lake. Delivers inside 50. And Sean Mannagh can go back and have a look at his fourth goal in the first half.
No, it's been a one-man band up forward for Werribee. Hudson Garone's kicked one, but it's all been on the boot of this man. Smart football too. And just sold a little bit of candy there on Campbell Lake.
And a beautiful kick.
This would take his absolute best.
Sean Mannagh. Such an important kick for momentum. Gold Coast just hit the Jets and blew past Werribee. Can the Tigers claw one back? Mannagh from 50. Gives it a ride.
Oh!
Gives it a big ride. Gets it home with an absolute beauty.
He's playing the absolute game of his life. 4 goals off Sean Mannagh's boot. He's had 16 disposals. He's had another couple of opportunities as well. 2 from set shots, 2 snaps, and that is his absolute best. It was good patient ball movement. Started on the far wing when de Clace got the ball, brought the ball back into the corridor, and the commentary side opened up for some space for Mannagh.
We saw Kane Lambert play a semi-final for Williamstown in 2014 that once and for all left no doubt he should be on an AFL list. We know what transpired thereafter. Sean Mannagh's first half in the VFL Grand Final is a calling card to all 18 AFL clubs that he deserves. He warrants his shot at the highest level because he's coming up big on the biggest day on offer. Porter in the ruck against Moyle. Porter gets the free kick.
Oh, I'm not sure how they've plucked that.
Henderson, who's going to need to get moving with Lombard behind. Garone heads to it. Couldn't finish it off. And Grintel is denied by the siren.
Kicked it too.
He kicked the goal. It won't matter, but what matters is
to INC Sports Nutrition, available at Chemist Warehouse. Our thanks for their support of 7 VFL throughout 2023. Half a football to play in the VFL season.
Kobe Anand and Ned Moyle resume hostilities. Henderson mown down and thrown by Oya, whose acceleration is key to the Suns' premiership quest. Farah from the back. Chol looking for the body. Lowell carefully for Pinnock, looking into the sun. To Closey, it's wide, it's flirting with the line, it's out. So an early error. Keegan Gray with a head tape after the cut in the opening half. Hollands, one of the drivers in midfield for the Suns in the comeback, sends it deep. McLaughlin, Burgess, McLaughlin again, out of the pack. Magnificent.
Oh, could have been touched. Werribee plays.
Umpire Jack Howard motioning the fingers, and the call is touched.
I think that was the field umpire calling that.
Had to be.
Umpire Jack Howard, so Here's the replay. Burgess with the original kick. McLaughlin after it through the legs of Cooper, and maybe it's caught the arm of one of the Werribee players on the way through.
Yeah,
Brave kick.
Into the middle of the ground. Johnston clever. Hollands been outstanding. 17 touches for Elijah Hollands. Brock slips away from Porter. Bounces it to Oya. Handball goes behind Johnston. Here's Hollands again. And he's been the one shining light in the midfield. He's had 16 possessions, 11 of those contested, 6 tackles. The next best ball-getting midfielder is Constable with 8.
Yeah, it certainly have. They need greater contribution from some of their star midfielders, the Gold Coast Suns, because Werribee won't go away.
Hansen. Lever wanted Closey to come past. Look for the switch, goes into the middle. Shorter option, Pinnock.
Oh, it's set up.
Hewland over the top. Brock. De Clace, well done, Hewland. So tough and physical across half-back, Bodie Hewland.
Yeah, good opportunity there. It was the right kick, just it wasn't executed quite well enough. They've done well to at least get a stoppage here, Werribee, because usually that would have been coming back the other way, the way that the Gold Coast have been slingshotting off half-back.
Constable just laid it on the field. And Blakely switches play and finds the youngster Eckersley.
He's already played 6 VFL finals in his short career. To Blakely. Spreads it to Farah, whose run's already been key from the back in the quarter. The shimmy to lose Coughlin. Bought some time in a Shepherd from Day. Farah continues to run it, opens things up. Oya, creative, spaces the kick for Chol, who left Cooper in his wake.
It was just brilliant football from Farah. He took the game on. He feigned a handball. He took some more ground, and lovely decision from Oya to lower the eyes. They'll be disappointed there, the Werribee defenders. Experienced players got stepped, didn't stick a tackle, allowed the overlap.
So Marbiel Chol, who kicked the second goal of the match to this end of the ground from the goal square for his 99th VFL goal and second of the grand final. It's home. The Suns have 5 of the last 6, and they've got 7 of their 9 out of their forward triangle of Burgess, McLaughlin and Chol.
INC Sports Nutrition Replay. Brownie, one of your keys to success at the start of the day for Werribee was not allowing the Gold Coast brilliant halfbacks to do that, and that was one of the plays of the match from Jai Farah.
Yeah, it certainly was. Great football. You might be able to get away with that in the regular home and away season, but when you come up against the #1 offensive side in the competition, those little steps and missed tackles and blatant overlap like that, they're going to come back and hurt you. And it's been the triple-headed snake in the forward line for the Gold Coast Suns that we spoke about off the top. McLaughlin, Burgess and Chol all chiming in so far this afternoon.
They lead by 17 points as Hollands goes to work on Dom Brew.
This has been one of the better games that I've seen from Elijah Hollands. He's been brilliant.
Moylan and Anand. Neither an effective tap off the hands of Gray. Henderson, Closey. Out towards half forward. Here's the speed of Farah again, got an awful bounce. Hayes pops a handball. Grintel tries to get past Johnston, who takes him to the line. Suns in control right now. They lead by 17 points, and it's a well-deserved lead. Stood up to the heat from Werribee in the first half of that second term, and then smacked him in the face with 4 goals in 6 minutes and a blinding flash of football. Moyle over the top. Speaking of blinding flash, Oya. Constable receives from Sexton. Bouncing ball. Here's Oya again, receives from Sharp, and away he goes. Out towards half forward. He's got McLaughlin in some space. Plenty of space. He's got Day inside 50. He's got Blakely inside 50. Blakely's got Burgess in the goal square. Heads in that direction. Burgess over the top. Front and centre, Sexton. Superb ball movement off halfback again from Gold Coast, and they lead by 23 points.
Boy, just great work rate from the high half forwards on the INC Sports Nutrition replay. It was Oya working really high. They got some space out the back. Smart kick from Blakely. Burgess stood at the top of the square for ages. And Alex Sexton, who's been relatively well held this afternoon in front of the scoreboard, he's made a career out of front and centres like that.
A 120-metre effort from Alex Sexton involved at the start and the end of the play. So Werribee had kicked 3 out of 4 either side at quarter time. The Suns now with 5, now 6 of the last 7.
It's just that speed of ball movement, Nudge, that Werribee have really struggled to slow down or contain all afternoon.
And it's been the spread of goal kickers for the Suns. Mannagh a lone hand from an offense point of view for the Tigers in the grand final thus far. He's got 4 singles to Garoni and Henderson, but they need Payer and others to get involved and in a hurry. Eckersley pumps it forward again. Coughlin to the front, a relieving mark in front of Day. It's been an engaging duel on a shed so far. Gribble, who really got involved in the game in the second quarter, needs to create again. Finds Lever, who wants options to sweep past him. The leading goal and score assist player in the league in 2023 finds Brew. And they've found space. It's a rarity in this third quarter to date. De Clace, again, bereft of moving targets. Finds Hansen, who stays in motion. What does it create? Nothing, as Burgess slides back and intercepts.
He lowered the eyes to try and hit Porter, who was on, but you've got the full forward that's worked all the way down to provide some defensive.
Kicks to Chol. Sharp over the top. Hollands stripped of the football. Brew. Closey. Gribble, a hesitation, and gone. Right in front of the Suns cheer squad. And they are loving what they're seeing at the moment. 6 of the last 7 goals to take control of the grand final. They lead by 23 points. Brock, long down the line. Porter read it nicely.
So this is when they were trying to bring the ball back through the corridor, and that, in particular, that second term. Suns are working really hard defensively to shut that down.
Just listen to the noise of the Gold Coast crowd right now. Coughlin to Pinnock. So Werribee trailed by 7 goals at half-time when they met in round 9. And they completely changed up their game. They went ballistic in the second half, and they stormed back, and they kicked 10 goals to 2 to win it. So they know they've got that up their sleeve. It's only 4 goals at the moment. The question will be, when do they change speeds, if they need to? Jeffrey to half forward. Burgess comes out. Strong hands. Blakely. Pinnock. And Brownie, that's the question. It's 23 points right now. They're in control. When do Werribee pull the trigger on changing things up?
Oh, they'll be doing it very shortly, I would have thought. And I mean, Gold Coast Suns will know in the back of their minds what happened earlier this year. They'll be making sure that they don't drop off their work rate, their intensity and their structure at all.
The Suns had held the Tigers at bay for much of the third quarter in that game as well.
Comeback losses like that, you never forget those, Jace, as a player.
Hand on it from Brock, who's had the better of the matchup with Payer so far.
And then conversely, you never forget the comeback wins as well from a Werribee perspective in their belief.
Absolutely, but you don't want to get in that position, especially on grand final day with so much at stake.
Tigers riding a 17-game winning streak. Suns, as we know, have been in glittering form, though. That close loss to the Tigers and a 1-point against the grain loss to the Bombers. Their only blemishes this year. Johnston knocked it away from Porter. Now it's the Suns' defence cutting the Tigers off at the path. Graham was part of the team of the year on Monday night. His kick is wide. Cooper came to meet it. Trampolined off his chest. Chol was dabbed out of his hand originally by De Clace. The backhander to Sexton goes along the grass. Lake was out before he was able to keep it alive. So 3 Suns academy players in the team this afternoon. Campbell Lake amongst them plays his local football with Labrador in the AFL Queensland competition. Kicked a goal in the qualifying final. He'll never forget the goal he kicked in this game to put the Suns back in front in time on in the second.
So Werribee, where's the goals going to come from? If it's not Mannagh, it's no one at the moment. They need another avenue forward.
De Clace to Lever to Hansen. He goes inside 50. Porter, one of those players you're referring to. Can he get involved? Can Paya get involved? There he is, Sam Paya. Nice little flip. Garoni ducked the head, tried to get through the tackle.
Not in the footy. Yep, a prior opportunity. Porter's only had the 3 disposals. Paya with 3 as well. They just haven't been able to get any time and space. And it's a good umpiring decision.
Garoni held to 7 touches as well. So just 13 for their 3 key forwards inside 50 as we approach the midway point of this third term. 23 points the margin. Gold Coast in control of the grand final at the moment. Burgess, great hands.
Huge. Not only in front of goals with his 3, but he's been working up high.
Day versus Coughlin. Play on will be the call. Coughlin got the middle piece. Hollands got into his move early. The backhander worked perfectly to Lombard. Now Burgess involved again. Kick out in front of Mabior-Chol.
How good's that? Burgess started that chain with a mark on the half-back flank. Gets involved again.
Showing his versatility. The whispers are Adelaide Crows interested in Chris Burgess, but as a defender, and you can see why on a day like today.
He'd be good anywhere on the ground. He's so athletic. He's a really good decision-maker and user. Been a really good footballer for a long time at state league level.
Well, this to make it a 29-point game. Mabior-Chol a chance to kick his 3rd. .48 metres out. Leans back on it. Misses right. Where's the spark come from, Werribee?
Just need to start taking the game on a little bit more. With that, though, you've got to be clean if you do that and make the right decisions, because the Gold Coast Suns will hurt you.
The Tigers without a score in the quarter. Coughlin was unconvincing, defied Pinnock.
It's just a safe kick.
It's slow, and that allows the Suns their zone working overtime to close all the gaps. Anand at the front, Moyle at the back. Porter, 3rd in line, first to receive. Needs to move this, though. Paya and Jeffries, the longest contest down the line. They'll get run from the back from Pinnock.
No one
flies in that direction. Mannagh outplayed by Hewland here. Really disappointed by the kick. Bodie Hewland keeps intercepting at will to Constable, who opens up with his foot skills to Blakely. Lombard over the top. Runners fanning wide everywhere. Lombard keeps running, stretches Gray. The 16-year-old got the favourable bounce, tries to sneak through to Clace, couldn't, coughed it up, applied a strong tackle, it got it to Lake, to Sharp, to Forkhead, looking for a lead, finding it through McLaughlin. Their ball movement is exquisite.
You saw the contrast, didn't you? Werribee just couldn't find any flow, and then it slingshots back the other way.
Yeah, it was slow kick long down the line that got picked off, and then they brought it straight back through the corridor. There was space out on the far side. Lombard, he got caught, but they had other options, and that was just a sizzling, magnificent kick inside the forward 50. This man's been lively all afternoon.
Denied a goal. It would have been his 3rd in the opening seconds of the quarter as the Suns chase a maiden premiership with any of their teams since their birth. McLaughlin for his 3rd of the grand final. The Suns lead by 30 points. So McLaughlin joins Burgess with 3 on the afternoon. He's been a welcome return from the calf ailment that saw him miss last week's prelim.
The IC Sports Nutrition replay, you can just see cough the ball up, a good follow-up tackle there from Lombard, and the kick inside from Forkhead, magnificent. He's 193 centimetres, but He's so agile, McLaughlin. Thoroughly deserving.
+9 for disposals this term and tackles 11-5. So they're getting more of the football and laying more tackles, just working hard.
Yeah, they certainly are. And Werribee, they need a spark. Where's it going to come from? Because they've come out a little bit flat after halftime, whether it's fatigue from this hot weather. Sun's certainly working a lot harder to cut off some of their kicks back through the corridor. They can't get any flow in their football at the moment.
It's got to start from the source, doesn't it? That's Werribee's strength. But at the moment, they're being beaten. Forkhead bounces towards half forward. Gray, again, look at the numbers there arriving for Gold Coast to put the pressure on. Nowhere for Coghlan to go. They win at the Suns. Sharp goes inside 50. Chol at the top of the square.
Great kick, great pressure. They just surged that ball forward. It was 3 or 4 Suns players laying tackles, keeping the ball alive, and again, just a really smart kick to the top of the goal square. Marby Chol, you're on an island back there as a defender. Cooper coming back, trying to find the body, and Chol just slipped around him, and he's been really good all afternoon.
So Chris Burgess has 3 goals. Brodie McLaughlin has 3 goals. They're Co-Frosty Miller medal winners. And now a chance for Marby Chol to join them on 3 goals. He does! The Suns keep rolling. So we're out to 6 goals, Brownie. We spoke about when's the time to pull the trigger and start going ballistic.
Right now, and look at the pressure on the ball carrier. INC Sports Nutrition Replay. That's what created this goal. Fanatic, the Gold Coast Suns players. And Marby Chol's now kicked 9 goals in this final series, 1 in the qualifying final. Last week he had 5 in the prelim, and he's popped up this afternoon with another 3.
Bested only by Burgess with 10 of his own. 3 lots of 3 from their kingpins forward. Henderson trying to clear it desperately for the Tigers. It's flicked off the boot by Blakely. And right now, the Suns try and chase that, Sharon, like it's got the cup attached to it. Gribble, it was a guess of a hand pass. Blakely clean. Rochi, they need his pressure. Hanson spun. Musters a kick. It's wide, it's out, and nothing is working for Mick Barlow's men in the 3rd. This hyper-efficient Suns team, 8 inside 50s, 4 goals, 2. Could have easily been 5 with the McLaughlin touch. McLaughlin stayed down, wasn't able to mark. Clark. Gray with the fend-off on Blakely. Lombard was taken high by Clark, and the skirmish has got embers. And the Tigers aren't going to shirk the task, but neither are the Suns.
Newland. Jeffrey. Their ability to switch and run and spread and find space has just been exceptional, and Werribee's had no response. Brock thought about coming wide, brings it back into the corridor, dangerous kick. Werribee a chance to get on the end of this. Close, he's going to look up and have not much to go to, so that was a good option. Laterally, coming through, Henderson, smart kick, Garoni. He's got a runner, can Payer get involved? He chips over the top, wrong option. Or it might have been the right option, but the wrong kick. And Brock cuts it off to Graham. And the Suns' defence bring it back the other way once again. Davies, Johnston, Lombard, Blakely.
They've got players on here deciding to play a little bit of tempo football, but they've kept this Werribee side scoreless in this 3rd term, 20 minutes in.
In a time on, Blakely goes long to half forward. Anand over the top. So if the time is now for Werribee to go ballistic, what does that look like, Brownie? What does that actually mean?
Well, I think Nicky Barlow's got no choice now to send one up to the stoppage, run it out via handball, link up, run and carry, try and bypass the spare that will be left. Because right now, they're winning a lot of footy uncontested, Werribee, but they're getting beaten at the source. And that's been one of their strong areas for the whole year. Contested possessions and clearances.
Sean Mannagh has not touched the ball in the third quarter after 4 goals to keep his side in the game, largely in the opening half. The Tigers, remembering, got to an 8-point advantage after Jack Henderson's goal at the 17-minute mark of the second. It's been all the Suns since. And then to Hansen looking for options, the turnover and a sea of red and yellow. Rochi intercepted the Sexton hand pass, and here is Mannagh's first touch of the third quarter, and look at the quality on it. Rochi back from Gray, has to look at short options. Brock gets involved on Porter. Henderson's there for the Tigers. He's dragged down by Brock. Rochi tackles Davies. Eckersley versus Gray. A huge footy to win if the Tigers want to believe. Eckersley thumps it forward. Chol out the back. He might let it run all the way. It misses.
And that's the thing. They tried to come through the corridor and be quick. They weren't quite clean enough. And the Gold Coast Suns are just sweating on any mistake that Werribee make at the moment.
It's just a numbers game right now, isn't it? There's so many more red Guernseys in the screen every time there's a ball in dispute.
Yeah.
Yulin's going to go against 3 here, and he does well enough to get a 50-50 out of bounds.
That's just fanatic football, desperation. They're doing the defensive stuff well, and they're getting rewarded on the counter-attack offensively.
Super impressive from the Gold Coast Suns from midway through the second term. They lead by 37 points. Can Werribee find a spark from somewhere, or are the Suns on their way to their first ever cup? Moyle spirals it inside 50, bouncing football towards the pocket. Chol waits on it, picks up the football, runs into Gribble.
Just running on top of the ground, the Gold Coast Suns. Everything's hard work at the moment for Werribee.
Moyle went to the back. Is that out of bounds on the full?
So, Brownie, the psychology of this, different matchup, but 0-8, where you've got control of the game right now and all the momentum, what does it feel like as a player?
Oh, it feels great. You don't need to change too much up. The Gold Coast Suns can just play their natural game style here. They don't need to take risks. They can play tempo footy if they need to be. And as a Werribee player, I could imagine they're starting to panic a little bit.
Mannagh has it deep inside defensive 50. Lovely kick to Manuel. Can they get something going now?
He's looking to get out, but he's surrounded by Suns. Manuel fumbly, given the benefit of the doubt, but it's all under pressure here for the Tigers. Manuel off the ground with a half volley. Johnston's got 3 to beat, and he might be good enough to do so. He has a fistful of the Garoni jumper, and the Tigers get a much-needed free. Gribble has Hansen running, chips for de Clace. The fist in from Graham, and they're feasting on the turnover.
Yep.
Hollands, who's been enormous, to Johnston. Lombard, the 16-year-old, tackles Cooper like a man twice his age.
He's 16 years of age, and look at the desperation on Lombard. So there's Werribee players now, because of that panic, starting to try and execute kicks that they're not capable of, that aren't coming off. And the Suns just need to keep the pressure on the ball carrier.
Could be a knockout blow here. Sexton won't get a chance to land it with great tackling.
It's a complete breakdown of transition footy from Werribee in this third term.
Yeah, there's been no connection forward to the ball, has there? Here's Davies. Brings it back inside. Cooper's there. This is where Werribee need to get it and go quickly.
Yeah, but there's no one on because they're pretty fatigued because they've been defending for 25 minutes. So there's no energy in the tank.
Cooper
on offense
towards Yuland. Off his fingertips. Can Payer get involved? He got one high there from Farah. Mannagh wants to move it. Now to Garoni. He's got Grintel forward of the football. Goes deeper towards Porter. Again, the Gold Coast defence stand up. Bouncing ball in dispute, and it's Yuland who just straight lines it. Waited for no one. Took the football. And back to Gribble. They just can't string together chains of meaningful possession. Everything difficult. Well done, Oya. Gray's taken down again. They turn an unlikely ball into a win. Cooper's got 3 to beat here. Has to stand up. Needs some support. Sockers towards the line. Gribble works hard to get across.
He did really well there, and the ball stayed in somehow.
De Clace draws Yuland. Off to Mannagh. Is this the moment for Werribee to get something going? Beautiful kick from Mannagh. Grintel, can he control it inside the line? Farah comes at him. Brock stands up again. And again, Gold Coast able to get numbers back. It's Hollands.
To Clace with the contest, though, on Graham. Spins free. The creative kind of Clace to try and light the fuse for the Tigers. He does!
That is some kind of goal.
They can't rely wholly and solely on moments of brilliance, but it might be the way they engineer a fight back. The margin at 29, they have spent the quarter defending, and they get their first goal since Sean Mannag's fourth at the 32-minute mark of the second quarter.
Well, de Clace is the man who you want the ball in the hands, but it came from this outstanding win here. 3v1 from Nathan Cooper. He played the percentages, he kept it in front of him. Everyone thought that the ball had gone out of bounds and stopped for the Gold Coast Suns. Kai de Clace is the man with the ball in his hands that drove that forward 50. He followed up with a great defensive spoil and then just an act of individual brilliance. Has the class to steady, to straighten up, and that was important to keep his side back in it.
Kai de Clace. Margin 31 points. Is this the spark Werribee needs, or does Gold Coast have the answer again, as they have had throughout the day? Moyle and Anand, some important minutes to be played here between now and three-quarter time. Moyle, beautiful tap down to Blakely. Henderson tries to feed it to Manuel, and in off the square comes Oya. Anand and Moyle again. It's been a great battle. Into the middle, Lake. He's wrapped up by Brew. And you can sense in the last 5 or 6 minutes, Werribee have lifted their work rate. Their hunt on the football's been better. It's now or never for the Tigers. Gribble.
And Farris just freed himself up. Down back for the Gold Coast Suns.
Tigers with 26 of the last 35 possessions between the teams.
Yeah, there it is. Hollands just slaps it forward. It's toe poked out by Oya. Socket on by Forkhead. Great surge football here from Gold Coast. Lake, Hollands, great teamwork. Forkhead somehow through traffic, gives it off to Day. Day snaps goalward. What a wonderful build-up it was. Only a minor score. Great team surge football from the Suns.
Yeah, they just wanted to keep it alive. It's something that Damien Hardwick won plenty of premierships with the Richmond Footy Club doing, that surge mentality.
Sam Day's third behind of the day. So 4 goals to 1 in the quarter. We breached 29 minutes now. Rochi.
Good kick.
Anand. Where are the runners?
So they're out the back if you can get a handball receive.
Comes back to Pinnock. In the end, it's still a launch. Payer with plenty to beat. Gribble out the front. Steady she goes for Grintel. The Tigers with back-to-back strikes. What's better than 1 in the comeback is 2, and suddenly the pendulum swings the other way. It's a sizable canyon at 26 points, but the Tigers go in with shovels more belief to three-quarter time right now than they would have 5 minutes ago.
That's the kick, the Rochi kick into the corridor that has been cut off for them for the whole third quarter. Big Anand, he was patient. He gave a handball receive. They got the ball out the back with some quick ball movement for the first time. Actually made the Suns defenders defend, and they couldn't. And Grintel bobs up. 2 goals. INC Sports Nutrition replay. Game back on. They won't go away, Werribee. They don't know how to.
26 points the margin. We've ticked over 30 minutes. Remembering they came from 37 points down at halftime last year to lose by 2. And they came from 42 down at halftime this year to win by 2.
Oh, Lake, that's a good tackle considering Tom Bruce, one of the strongest players around the hips in the competition. 19-year-old just put him straight on his backside.
Got some incredible youngsters, don't they? Eckersley, Lombard, Lake, all standing up in big finals. Bruce kick, well done, Jeffrey. Spins away, play on, called, and somehow evades and then kicks long to half forward. Clark stands underneath it. So much more expansive and attacking from Werribee. They've looked to spread. They've changed the angles. They've had to take some risks. This will work for Coghlan. He'll bring it back inside. Awkward one. Pinnock can gather. Beautifully smothered off his boot. Brilliantly done, Farah. Could be a massive moment in the grand final. Hollands. Ball will come forward. Sexton has it at 50. Day's tracking back towards the square. Oya's got speed. He'll go towards Day and find him.
Oh, what about the smother? That's what created that opportunity for Sam Day. They were about to go forward, Werribee, and one massive defensive act on the half-back flank has created an opportunity.
Farah.
Yeah, he's done some outstanding things.
Sam Day for a body blow as Werribee are trying to rally. Margin back to 26 points after it sneaked out to 38. Day to give them a massive boost of adrenaline on three-quarter time. Across the face.
Oh, he could have had 4 or 5 this afternoon, Sam Day.
The Suns in control at three-quarter time, but Werribee still believe. 1 quarter to play.
Learn. That was the message from Josh Drummond. They went into their shells. They let Werribee control the game. They don't want that to happen again. The message on the whiteboard, play like you're 6 points down.
Final quarter of the grand final, thanks to Thirsty Camel Bottle Shops. Manuel gets the first kick of the term. Lever. Handballs it forward. Well done, Farah, who's done some great things. Was ripped off his kick. Ball now in dispute. Sharp will get there first. Tries to get past Gribble. Flips a handball. Forkhead does well. Back inside to Sharp, and now Hollands. Draws a man. Pops it over the top. Burgess. Brew gets a piece of him. Burgess muscles his way forward. How will the umpires see this? It's still alive. Taken out by Coghlan.
So if you're Werribee right now, you've got to win the ball here at these clearances and take a little bit of added risk. Come through the corridor, drive with your legs, try and get some link-up run and handball and deep inside forward 50s.
McDaffie going on to say he needs them to go faster, to get it, wheel and go. Speed on the football. Got to open it up. De Clace, Anand, Henderson, Closey, Gribble. He's got a lot of his football deep in defence in this second half. Can it create something? Dangerous kick, but they're the sort of risk they may have to take. Manuel, but he turns it over. Chance in for Gold Coast to punish.
He kicked it into De Clace running past.
Farah horizontal. It was Sexton who was the secondary option instead of Eckersley. Where's the launch pad here for the Suns? Chol, Cooper pummels him. Support was from Anand. But it's not where the Tigers want it. 90 seconds into this final quarter. Chol, McLaughlin, Burgess 3 apiece. And that's clipped De Clace's ear on the way through. Of all the things to impact the kick, McLaughlin to Sexton.
Yeah, the kick was on too. They were looking to counter-attack on this boundary side.
Waste no time. Coghlan thumps it long to a set play. If Manuel can get on the end of this, he can't. Coming the other way. Graham, fantastic contest in the middle of the ground. Ball now in dispute. Plenty of numbers around this for Gold Coast. Hayes commits the body, wins the football, and Ann bounces off Holland, who then turns tackler. Elijah Hollands, 23 possessions, 12 contested, 10 tackles, 5 clearances. He's been brilliant.
Yeah, been huge and really important play from Graham up the middle of the ground too.
Mannagh going nowhere. Oya and Hewland. You can see those glimpses from Werribee, and Gold Coast is slamming the door on their fingers.
Elijah Hollands matching his output from the preliminary final. Mannagh, who's kicked 4, shins forward, receives back from Hayes for his 5th of the grand final. Leaves Constable in his wake. He's got it! Sean Mannagh, the powder keg, he exploded onto the grand final scene in the first half. He was persona non grata in the third. He starts the last for the Tigers in style. They've kicked the last 3 of the game, and the margin is at teasing distance at 22 points.
Wow. Hasn't he kicked some goals today?
Who was it going to be? Of course it was going to be Mannagh. He's been there all afternoon on the Thirsty Camel replay, just hacked it forward. What about the acceleration?
And that is the epitome of what Michael Barlow spoke about at three-quarter time. That was dirty to clean. The cleanest for them today has been Mannagh with 5.
Teasing margin, as Nudge said. This next goal now the important one if they can get it inside 20 points. There's some ghosts on the shoulders of the Gold Coast Suns. They've been so good all day, the Suns, at shutting the door. Can they do it again here and to snuff the resistance? Gribble wins the clearance. Bounce towards half forward. Off the hands of the contest. Well done, Hollands.
Holding, yeah.
Free kick, Werribee.
It was there too. He just wouldn't allow him back at the contest, so Hayes gets it.
Almost within range, Nick Hayes, if he goes back and launches.
The aggression in the middle of the ground from Kobe Annan was absolutely outstanding.
Looking for an option, not confident of the distance. There's the option. It's a wide one, but it's on. And Henderson has it, 45 out.
Yeah, it was a good lead by Noah Lever as well, because it made the Gold Coast Suns defender commit to someone. He got caught in no man's land, which allowed Henderson the space out the back.
Jack
This is a big kick.
Grew up on a rice farm in Blighty between Deniliquin and Finley. Played with the Deniliquin Rams. What a moment for him. From 48 metres, it's low and flat. It's not going to get there, it's off hands, a long point. It's a 21-point game.
They did a good job in the second term of being able to lock the ball inside their forward 50.
Joel Jeffrey has the responsibility. Can have whatever he wants short. Decides to take ground. Moylan Anand again, and Day.
That's what you can't allow. And Coughlin, he just got lost in the air.
Burgess tries to lose Pinnock. That matchup is resumed. Pinnock did well to take the aggressive front spot, but then lost the footing, desperate against Eckersley, who keeps it alive. Gray to Henderson, away from Forkhead to Gribble. Watts down the line. Player in the right spots. Jeffrey had to mark that looking into the sun.
And Noel Lever led it the ball carrier when he was under pressure. He just needed to hold his ground then and create a contest.
The Suns have shown composure all afternoon. Anand comes forward, takes it on his chest, and Moyle's furious. Anand, can they create the overlap? They can. Gray to Clace. He goes inside 50. It's a 4-on-2 in favour of the Suns. The man who stayed down, Lever, great crunching tackle.
It certainly was. Michael Sotomarco, he just spat forward. He rolled the dice. So if that tackle didn't stick and Lever was able to get his boot to ball, they had an extra out number.
Jeffrey with the tackle. Moyle grits the teeth, wins the football. Bouncing ball. Mannagh to Clace. Henderson, well done, Oya. Back to Mannagh, delivers it inside 50. Need a contest to get it to ground. Grintel snaps and goals! Harry Grintel kicks his second. It's a 15-point game. The psychology of this is fascinating, Brownie. We've spoken about Werribee. They've got the belief to storm back. If you're Gold Coast now, what do their leaders need to do and say?
Get their hands on the footy, try and get some composed possession, because right now, Werribee on the Thirsty Camel replay have all the answers. Great goal from Grintel.
Something special about the cauldron of Icon Park. The 15th VFL Grand Final here is delivering. Elijah Hollands has been party to it. Blakely in his last game gives it to Hollands. Exquisite use to the outside of the foot for Sharp, who's come off the line. Maluel closes him down. He leaves him in his wake. Sharp from the paint of 50. Got it! Enormous strike back against the flow for the Suns. And what composure from Elijah Hollands on a couple of occasions, and then Jeremy Sharp, who originally played on, turned it in from a slow play to one in motion. The coolest of finishes. So we have a look at the Thirsty Camel replay, Brownie. Elijah Hollands involved a couple of times. Jeremy Sharp hasn't played an AFL game this year. He's patrolled the wing today. He's only had the 10 touches, but he's running point to point has been so important.
Yeah, classy footballer, and that was a great finish. And Jack Henderson just had to attack the ball carrier, then he backpedaled away.
So once again, Gold Coast with the answers. Hansen out of the middle. Plenty of time for Werribee, though. Sotomarco to Grintel. Brock squeezes a kick wide. Out towards the boundary line. How will the umpire see this? Insufficient intent? No, throw it in. Let's head boundary side, Macca.
Well, the Werribee captain, Nick Coughlin, just chatting to the physio now. He's got his left quad heavily strapped with that combustion bandage. It looks like he'll come back on, but definitely wavering.
Well, they definitely need him. 21 points. Gold Coast just steady themselves with a goal. A brilliant long-range strike from Jeremy Sharp. So Werribee now have to manufacture the excitement again. Porter in the ruck, down to Hansen. Towards half forward into the sun. Grintel attacked it. Taken by Hayes over the top. It's a race. It's Brock versus Payer. Who gets the bounce? Payer does. Turns. Handball inside. Sotomarco, the veteran, bounces it and misses.
It's the right kick. You look up and you see space inside your forward 50. If you're Werribee, you put it there and you back your forwards like Payer to win that one-on-one contest.
Sam Payer and that complement of players who've had quiet afternoons but can still be a factor in the final 20 minutes. Hansen versus Blakely. Chol after it. Blakely runs forward. Chol gets away from De Clace. He's fumbly. Sharp. Underground to Chol. Nailed by Gray.
Right in front of the
Werribee for the Tigers. They are on the precipice. They're on the cliff here. They need to make it work. Hayes with dancing feet through Chol. De Clace to Sotomarco, the veteran, to Gray, got busy on him. He has Hansen on the scene, shares by hand, it's wide. Grintel keeps the play alive. Johnston diving. Eckersley, fumbly. Who else but Mannagh? He misses the first time today. We haven't seen Sean Mannagh finish. The margin is 21 points. And this was a sequence of play to behold.
Well, they just willed it, didn't they? They just forced the contest, forced the error from the Gold Coast Suns, and very nearly Mannagh kicked the goal out of nothing.
Yuland. The defence has been outstanding today. Gold Coast, and in slides Leo Lombard, the youngster from Broadbeach. Originally from the Burleigh Junior Footy Club.
They'd love Hudson Garoni to take a mark inside forward 50.
Jeffrey down the line to Johnston, just cruises across the ground. Some good tempo football here from Gold Coast. Take a bit of fizz out of the game. Constable, stand in, skip it at 8. Mannagh got a cross in front of Day. Oya got the crumb. Hollands feeds it back. Farah takes the game on again. Drives it inside 50. Awkward kick, dangerous spot. Lake got a hand on it. Here's Sexton, generally a good finisher. Wheels, spins, and goals! Absolutely brilliant, Alex Sexton. He kicks his second. Couple of big strikes from Gold Coast. And once again, they slam the door on Werribee's fingers.
Just been some classy finishes from some of their better ball users. Sharp with the first goal on this occasion. Farah getting involved again. Dangerous kick back inside forward 50, but Alex Sexton, he's always backed himself on his left, on his right. Doesn't matter. He knows where the goals are. He's kicked a couple.
Another son who's had a sizable September. 7 goals across the 3 finals. And questions once again get asked of Werribee's belief of their capabilities. The margin breaches the 13-minute mark. The Tigers kicked 4 goals in a row, 2 either side of three-quarter time. The Suns have kicked the last 2. Blakely, while lying down, got a heel to it, and Davies tackled by a couple. Burgess takes his turn in the ruck and tried to palm it to Davies. In the end, his kick got to the hand of Mannagh. Blakely dives. Constable out of the phone box. Hansen looking for an exit strategy. Simply couldn't find one. Again, the Suns close it down on the inside, and with no Jimmy Cheetahs, the likes of Elijah Hollands, Connor Blakely, and to a lesser extent Oscar Forkhead have picked up the slack when necessary. Here's Davies. And a valuable minute is taken off the clock here by the Suns.
Yeah, they'll be happy with this. Repeat stoppages.
And Burgess. And lovely tap. Mannagh on the burst. Well done, Oya. Gets it back the other way, and now he takes off. Beautiful kick towards half forward, finds Day. He's got Sexton short. He's got a one-on-one deep. Heads in that direction from McLaughlin. It clears the pack. It bounces. It rolls through. Sam Day gets his second. And once again, the Gold Coast Suns, when challenged, have the answers. Margin back out to 31 points. Their resilience has been impressive, Brownie. Werribee controlled the first half of the second term. They weathered the storm and then punished them. And now in the last term, they had every reason to believe Werribee were coming over the top. Yeah, and that's just what's happened all afternoon. In the last 5 minutes, they've had 3 inside forward 50s for 3 goals. They have been unbelievably efficient when they've gone inside the forward 50.
3 flurries on the afternoon. 4 in 6 minutes in the second. 4 in 14 minutes in the third. 3 in 6 minutes here in the last. It could be the difference between the cup heading to Coolangatta or not. Anand with the clearance. Jeffrey back there, fumbly. Lever, Payer, needs a moment, has a moment. Sampay's 28th goal of the season. Again, he's a player who's had a quiet grand final, but has the talent, has the capability to do something, to create something. The margin sits at 25. You have a look at the Thirsty Camel replay, Brownie. What about the game of Kobe Anand in the ruck? Yes, he's pretty much the same age as Ned Moyle, but doesn't have the time on an AFL list in that experience. Certainly made of different stuff in terms of his makeup, but he's just competed so stoutly. He has.
It's been a great battle. Really physical, what you want to see from your 2 ruckmen. They've gone at each other all afternoon. And another good tap for Gribble. It's all or nothing from the source for Werribee now. De Clace chips the kick for Hansen. It'll pitch in front of he and Forkhead, and out it goes in front of the Werribee faithful, hoping that their team can somehow find another way to rally once again. Damien Hardwick watches on. The incoming Gold Coast AFL coach. Hollands will have been impressive from what he's seen. Oya, in fact Lombard rather. He's holding the footy.
Gray has it.
One's fall to the centre. Let's get in there quick.
Suns have got numbers back. Garoni arrives late. Henderson turns tackler. It comes back to Jeffrey. He gets it to the line. Throw in. Jeffrey, Farah, Johnston. We've got such composure in the back half, such athleticism in the back half.
Great balance between the defensive stuff, but also on counter-attack on offence.
And throw Brock into that mix as well, and Newland. Mannagh. Taken down by Newland. Well done, Hollands, in another extraction. Out to Sharp with the outside of his boot, but it could be coming back here. Pinnock has it.
Try and kick this off the line. You don't want to be going... There we go. That's dangerous.
Ends up as a high launch, and that's money for jam for Joel Jeffrey in defence. And
just needed more representation. Nudge there.
Need 4 composed quality entries, the Tigers, to be any chance. The last 2 forays forward have been nothing but. And then all of a sudden, there's overlap created here. Farah can space the game. Oya He'll turn this game into a track meet in the last 12 minutes. Inboard for Moyle. And suddenly the Suns have marched it into their half. Chol against Cooper. It pitches. Day. Brew gets it away from Lake, but it's high, it's wide. Grintel against Constable. The Suns standing skipper sees it to the line. And the Suns supporters who've packed the outer side of the ground are in full voice. The club that was invented in the last dozen years. So we see Sam Day down on his haunches. They could be 10 or so minutes from their first ever premiership.
In their 14th year of competition. Joined the VFL in 2010 as a precursor to their AFL arrival. Brew left it behind.
Be a great result for this footy club.
Here's the Sam Day incident. Got crunched on the way through by Cooper. Could have been a free kick. Never in possession there.
Just tweaked that ankle a little bit. They're desperate to play AFL finals, and this could be the start of something for this football club.
Certainly suggests a direct connection between a good VFL team and a good AFL team. Last decade, proof enough of that. Forkhead run down by Manuel. Frustration on the faces of Werribee fans. They've been waiting 30 years for a premiership. Right now, it looks like they might be waiting at least another. We're in a time on. They trail by 25 points. DeClace, Lake takes him down. They're young kids. Lake, Eckersley, Lombard. Just get in and do their job, Brownie. Play their role. Lombard at 16 years of age. Eckersley 19. Lake 19. All academy kids. They come in after school or after work. Ball out of bounds again. Out on the full. Werribee ball.
Tom Gribble off 21 JJ Liston trophy votes on Monday night. Flies it deep. Garoni, the spillage, Maluel, the half volley, and the composure to find Gray, who doesn't need to rush. He has to go through his routine here. 21 minutes into the final quarter. Keegan Gray kicked 1-2 in the qualifying final. Lost his spot in the prelim. Returned to the lineup for the decider. And kicks the goal. And the Tigers believe. The 6th goal of the season for Keegan Gray. The 12th in his 46th VFL match. And the Tigers get back-to-back goals. Payer at the 16-minute mark. It's been a topsy-turvy turn. Is there still a twist in the tail? Werribee the first 2 of the quarter. The Suns the next 3. Werribee now with 2 in the final 5 minutes.
Thirsty Camel replay, good composure, and if they can get a centre clearance here and kick a really quick goal back-to-back, you never know.
VFL quarters often go beyond 30 minutes. Time for Werribee. Gold Coast just been so solid and composed. Moyle, a Falcon, Forkhead, intercepted. Advantage. Gray streams through. Can he find someone inside 50? Fist from behind. It spills to the front. Roch will be first back onto it. Tries to spin through Constable. Here's Hayes off to Henderson. Smothered off his boot by Constable. Henderson goes again. Finds his boot. Finds Manuel. Straightens up. Manuel smothered off his boot as well. Brilliant work from the Suns defence. That was Johnston.
Oh, it was
3 smothers in the one passage.
He just needed to put that onto his left boot. He tried to come back onto his preferred side.
Jai Farah is down. Just there in your screen. So play being stopped until he's assessed. Desperate scrambling defence from Gold Coast.
Yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it?
Werribee looked to be building towards a team-lifting goal. There's one smother. And there's the clip from Henderson, inadvertent on the way through.
Yeah, he's hurt his left shoulder on that occasion, so two players, eyes on the footy.
Werribee within range of goal. Can they get it clear of the congestion? Hollands picks it up. Brew and Hansen wrap him up. Porter and Moyle. Oya.
He's done some good things, Oya. Half forward that's worked really hard. Got up the ground, tried to create, use his leg speed. He's got to slap this into some space.
Here's Oya again.
Oh, look at him go.
Busts clear of the congestion, kick smothered off his boot, opens the door for Hayes. Composure, good squaring up, kick finds Gray. Gray can go further to the big man Anand. He can go to De Clace. They work it around the arc. Now the important entry kick. De Clace outside his range. Would take his best. He could wheel out to the right, try and creep a few metres and launch. That's what the crowd are calling for him to do. But he'll set it up, hits it flat and ugly. It's still there for Constable. He's taken down in a tackle. Werribee ferocious. They know it's now or never.
4 goals to 3 in the quarter. You'd imagine we're somewhere in the vicinity of 6 to 8 minutes of time left. Gribble to Henderson. A high flyer that is wide and out. It'll give Werribee a chance to set up defensively, but it also gives a chance for the Suns to set up down the line. They've actually emptied out to the broadcast side for Charlie Constable if he wants to have a look at it. He'll hug the legend stand side and gets what he wants from Burgess. Not paid. Chris Burgess locking eyes with the umpire, incredulous that he wasn't paid the mark.
He's been fantastic this afternoon. Just created. And yeah, that's play on. Moyle got a good piece of that. Really well umpired game this afternoon.
Trapped at the bottom here and gone. Exactly the result the Suns want. Connor Blakely, who won a Simpson medal as a best on ground in a Waffle Grand Final 7 years ago, gets a 50-metre penalty.
Descent.
And it looks like Tom Gribble was the man in the vicinity to give it away.
So Blakely gets the territory that Gold Coast have been yearning for. Inside 50, can they find a mark on the end of this? Scholl at the back. Desperate lunging tackle from Hayes, and the ball's at the right end of the ground for Gold Coast to now lock it in. Set up behind. Chew down some minutes and grab their first cup. De Clace, quick kick, smothered off traffic. Cooper gets through. There's the numbers behind the ball for Gold Coast.
Well positioned there.
Graham. Launch it high, back inside 50. Cooper took Choll out. And Marbior can go back and ice the game.
Yeah, just in that marking contest, he made contact, dropped the shoulder into Marbior Choll before he was able to have a running jump at the footy. Free kick was absolutely there. It was really good defensive positioning from Graham, who's had a magnificent year. And look at this, just the jump and contact. No eyes really on the footy there from Nathan Cooper.
Marbior Choll, maybe in his final game with the Gold Coast Suns, is interested in him elsewhere. What an athletic talent he is. A chance to kick his 4th of the afternoon. More or less directly in front. He slots it through.
Thirsty Camel replay. They set up beautifully behind the footy. Just a hack kick out from Werribee comes straight back. Repeat inside 50s. And that's the free kick. The big men all flew. They've all been a handful this afternoon. Day, Burgess, Choll. That's ultimately been the difference.
9 goals in the most important 8 quarters of the season for Marbior Choll. He could be minutes away from his second VFL Premiership medal. Blakely takes the high shot. It's just coming apart at the seams for the Tigers as they try desperately to generate something. The Suns have managed this game superbly since the midpoint of the second quarter. McLaughlin to the front. Day there as well. Porter will be muscled to the turf by Burgess. Came free of his legs. Cooper's handball wide for Gray. Back to Coughlin. Lombard bearing down on him. Risk reward. Coughlin to Maluel, who lights the burners. But Jeffrey has been near impassable in this final quarter. Magnificent way to manage the game from half-back. His 8th possession of the quarter, and he's had 3 intercept marks in that sequence.
Yeah, these are the best 2 or 3 minutes of your footballing life. Once you know you've got a grand final won.
Listen to the crowd go up for Mabior Chol.
You can just chip the ball around, take it all in, soak it up.
Smile on his face. Day sets himself. Sexton. Porter. Here's Day. Nicely done for the youngster. The kid! The kid gets a goal in the grand final! Leo Lombard at 16 years of age. His first VFL goal. What a moment for Leo Lombard.
And that would put a smile on the face of any coach.
Draftable at the end of 2024. We'll play in the Futures game on the MCG on Grand Final Day next Saturday afternoon, and he'll do so with a VFL Premiership medal.
Think about it, 16. What were you doing at 16? I wasn't doing too much. But this man, he's just kicked a goal on the biggest stage. And Damien Harvick's sitting there thinking, I've got this kid for the next 15 years.
And here we are 24 years later, hey? Leo Lombard, he can't believe it. Junior football journey through Burleigh Bombers and Broadbeach. He's grown up in the Suns' backyard. He's grown up only knowing an AFL club down the road. And at 16, 17 next month, he's going to be a VFL Premiership player. Porter goes to Hansen, knuckles it forward to Hayes, who got via Blakely, to Porter, who checks it short, wide. Grintel or Lever with the picks. Gray inboard for Hansen. Brew wears pressure from Sexton. Numbers back here. Sotomarco for one late in the grand final, wanting to score a try virtually, was Burgess, and he got his wish. So it's an even 5 goals, and it's probably the right margin to describe what's been a brilliant grand final, but the Suns supreme.
It sure has. And where does this Werribee group go? I know that Gribble and De Clace, Sotomarco, will they play VFL footy next year? Could be the end of an era for Werribee.
17 straight wins for Werribee. Comes to an end at the worst possible time. Mannagh, Henderson, De Clace, floats to 50. Hayes, awkward bounce. Hewlin coming the other direction, meets Closey. High shot, free kick. Bodie Hewland.
Probably another potential change in the Werribee makeup is Sam Closey, Fothergill round Mitchell medalist. Brownie, you'd imagine he can find himself on an AFL list through some way, shape or form.
Yeah, certainly got AFL interest. He was brilliant last week in the preliminary final. Play half-back and on the wing. He's a good size. He's athletically very, very gifted. So these are all the things that Michael Barlow will have to deal with, not today or tonight, but
in time.
Down the track.
Oscar Forkhead. Long in the Moyle direction. Connor Blakely comes off for a spell. What a career he's had. 78 AFL games. This is 18th VFL game. Retiring after this one. And he's going to go out with a premiership medal around his neck. So many great stories in this Gold Coast team. Porter, De Clace just sinks the boot into it. Towards half forward, punched away. Gray ran past it. Sharp. Constable. Sharp. Sexton will just thump it long and wide. Be happy for it to roll and bounce and trickle towards the boundary line. Cooper couldn't keep it alive. Throw it in as we hit the 33.5-minute mark. Suns fans on the verge of their first premiership.
Welcome to the Premiership Club, the Glitter Strip. And they've turned up in their number today, the Suns fans. Certainly been a split crowd, maybe even in the Suns' advantage. Sexton for one last party trick. Second all-time for goals in the AFL, fourth for games, Alex Sexton. He makes his own moment of history here as one of 23 players who will deliver the first ever Premiership Cup to their Carrara base. The Tigers are on tired legs as the belief finally has gone. Brew to Gribble to Gray. Perhaps one last one for Michael Barlow's side as Lever heads for Sotomaco. Brock after him, and the Tiger veteran just can't keep the play alive. But it's been so good to see him back and getting his opportunity to play in a contender team. 134th game today, and tip of the cap to that man, Michael Barlow. He was headed to coach Werribee in the Western Region Footy League as of August 2020. Mark Williams got the job at Melbourne, and Michael Barlow's helped drive his old side to a grand final.
Henderson snaps goalward. Jeffrey over the top. Moyle been enormous. Hollands been brilliant. Down the line, only as far as Pinnock. Had a huge job to do. Goes inside 50 to Mannagh, who's kicked 5. Set the grand final alight. Be deserving of another. Sean Mannagh. What a game he's played from 48 metres out. Gets cramp as he kicks it. Oh, and still manages to slot his 6th goal.
What a individual performance from Sean Mannagh.
6 goals, 2 from Sean Mannagh.
Unbelievable.
It's been a lone hand up forward, 28 possessions, 4 clearances, 7 contested touches, 4 inside 50s, 6 goals, 2.
It's been a magnificent performance. He's worked himself into the ground. He's done it all. He's got up nice and high. He's laid tackles. He's kicked goals. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough to get his side across the line. But if there was AFL interest around the mid-season draft, there's certainly going to be a stack more leading into the off-season after a performance like this in a VFL grand final.
40 goals for the season, considering the role he plays in the team. Incredible. And 6 from 13 in a losing side in a grand final. Blakely with one of his last kicks. It's following Marby or Troll late. He paddles, he just wants to play with De Clace and the clock. He falls over, he fishes it out. Davies couldn't help him. De Clace to Maluel. Unfortunately, it's all academic for the team from the west. Leave it to Porter. Miscue, but Hayes is in space. He'll chip. Hansen marks. One for his troubles from Graham on the way through. And Matt Hansen, who's finally got his opportunity to play in a VFL grand final, his 102nd matches. Jackson Cornberg. Josh Drummond can celebrate because for the first time in their history, the Suns shine brightest in September. They're the 2023 VFL Premiers.
Graham Seton.
Hansen kicks the goal. After 14 long and often painful years, the Suns claim their first piece of silverware. To continue watching, we've got a channel change. Switch to 7 Mate now. 7+ viewers. Switch to the post-match pop-up channel. Gold Coast 17-10, 112. Defeat Werribee 14-9. 93. The final margin, 19 points in what was an entertaining 2023 VFL Grand Final, Campbell Brown.
That was magnificent performance. Great display of counter-attack football. They knew what their strengths were and they absolutely played to them. A lot of reward for effort, not just